The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Get your home ready for winter. Schedule your furnace tune-up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning and save $30. Visit standardheating.com to book and lock in your savings.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93 Air.
Well, by damn, Wisconsin chewed us up and spit us out over the weekend, and we're here to tell the tale, Cubby. We live to tell the tale. Welcome to the Monday, just back from Wisconsin edition of the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. It is 5:43.
Regarding that trip, I think it was the great Borat who once said, "Great success," and I thought it was a great success.
I'm happy you feel that way, Cubby. I really am. You know, but you know this just as well as anybody. When you come back home to Minnesota from Wisconsin, you know how it is after a Wisco trip. You wash and scrub over and over again, but you still can't get clean.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
The dirt, it won't go away. It's still there.
It's in your skin.
Yes.
It's in what little hair I have left.
Oh, I scrub and it just down to the bone, and it's still there.
I bought some steel wool. I thought we could take a bath together afterwards and try and get the stink off.
You had a good time, did you?
I did. Yeah, you know, and it's funny because we were so worried about the broadcast being terrible. Even our engineer right before was like, "Hey, why do you guys even do this?"
Yeah, that was a good feeling.
Yeah. It's like, this is a terrible idea. But I think all things considered, there was a couple little hitches in the beginning, but since then it was pretty good.
We did all right.
Yeah, it was fun, and the crowd was so cool.
Yeah, thanks again to everybody who swung on out that way to join our little party. And if you're nice, we might even invite you out there again over to Turtle Lake Casino. If you behave yourself and you're nice, maybe you'll get an invite down the road. You know, this happened, that happened, lots of nice people, and even a laugh or two.
How did you guys do? I guess I don't know if did you do any more bets, any more sport betting?
For me, it was just the one Thursday night.
Okay.
So I won $20.
Well,
So just like last year, I won. Well, actually, last year I think I won $60. So
What's
yeah,
the
I'm up.
slogan again?
Nice.
What's your slogan again involving $20? Give it to it.
Well, you know, somebody brought that up. $20 is $20.
That's right.
Yep.
That's why you're smiling. That's why you're happy. You came out ahead again. You're a natural-born winner.
It's the least demeaning thing I've ever done for $20.
Yeah. I made a bet or two beyond the $20 that Josh and I won together. You know, the Randy Shaver thing.
Did you do that big parlay and all that?
And they didn't work out, I don't think, but whatever.
I had a couple people complain to me about that.
Because they followed Randy's orders?
Yeah, they weren't happy.
Well,
about
and we don't need to get into details because who friggin' cares on that friggin' bet? Maybe Randy will bring it up when we talk to him at 7:30 or so this morning. But if I remember the parlay correctly, it involved Nebraska, the University of Nebraska. There was a college football parlay and a pro football parlay. The college football parlay, as advised by Randy Shaver, degenerate gambler that he is, he advised, don't take the University of Indiana's football team too seriously. They're not as good as everyone thinks they are. They're playing at home against Nebraska. And he said, I think Nebraska will cover the points. And I think it was 6.5 points or something like that.
Yep.
Indiana, if I'm not mistaken, ended up winning that game 56-7 or something like that.
My boyfriend showed me that late last night. He's like, ooh, Randy's bet did not go well.
He missed that one by quite a bit. I haven't really looked, to be honest with you. I know the college one fell to pieces with that Indiana-Nebraska game. I haven't looked at the pro football one. It doesn't really matter. It was fun, win or lose. It wasn't like I put $5,000 on the friggin' thing. It was $20 more. So
Yeah.
Whatever. I do enjoy having that opportunity to bet on ball games. That is becoming more of a fun thing for me. You know,
It is fun.
I was into it when I was young. I laid off for years, but you know, given the opportunity, it is enjoyable.
It's still a little confusing. I know both of us were a little confused. You might have figured it out by the second time, but thank God you had a buddy there that kind of straightened us out. There was one bet that we're like, ooh, we should make that one. And he said, if you don't put a certain amount in, you're going to lose no matter what. And that was kind of confusing.
Yeah, it can be confusing. I dangle with it once a year whenever we go to
Me too.
Turtle friggin' Lake. So there
far, I'm
you
a
go.
Two-time winner.
Yeah, everyone goes home a winner when Josh is involved. Yeah, so thanks, everybody. We had a good tan. I did something I hadn't done in, 25 years, maybe a little less, maybe a little more. This was Friday night. I took a shot of whiskey.
Yeah, you know.
That was crazy.
So did Josh.
Yeah, me too. I haven't had any alcohol since, what was it, April of last year, I think is the last time I drank anything. And I was a little worried, like, wait, what's this going to do to me? I haven't had alcohol forever. But that stuff was really, really good. I know that both of us were a little hesitant. Like, I don't know if we want to do that.
I didn't want to.
But it's Jesse James Dupree, and you can't say no to Jesse.
You can't say no to Jesse James Dupree, lead singer of Jackal, who came on. He's got his own bourbon, whiskey. I'm not sure what to call it. What do I call it?
Bourbon?
I thought he called it whiskey.
All right, whatever.
That's what he said. I don't know the difference.
He's got his own hooch, and he has for years and years. I have some of it at my home. He handed these bottles out to us years ago, and he's still selling hooch. So Jesse walked into the bar Friday night a few hours before his show, and he had some of his booze with him. And, yeah, I don't dangle with hard liquor at all. And like I said, in the neighborhood of 25 years is the last time I took a shot. And but once handsome, friendly Jesse starts swinging those bottles around and
he's so charming.
And he is so over-the-top charming.
Oh, my gosh, such a sweet person.
He talked both of us into it. Yeah. Josh was getting ready to drive home in a few hours, and Josh even went ahead and, but it was your only drink of the night. I'm sure you were fine. But it was delicious. It was a cinnamon-flavored whiskey. Now, that's... I scared myself a little bit, Josh, because it was so good.
Oh, I easily could have drank more of that.
Oh, it was so good.
Can I get a full glass of this?
It was good. I mean, it was barely, I don't even know if it was a full shot.
Not really. He gave us the child's version.
Smaller, yeah.
He gave us the kiddie cup.
It was, basically just wet the cup. It was barely anything in there, but it does warm you up a little bit. At least
we all took one, right? Ashley, Dana, you guys took one.
Actually, so I went up and introduced myself and said hi to him, and he's like, Where are the guys at? Where are Nick and Josh? And I was like, oh, they're right over there. I pointed you out. And he's like, oh, I got to get everybody a shot. And I was like, okay, yep. I was like, I don't know if they're going to take it. Oh, gosh, I feel bad now.
I turned it down. I said, hey, thanks, Jess. I said, if I take a shot of whiskey right now, I'm not going to be able to enjoy your show. And I really am looking forward to your show later. And he said something adorable with a Southern accent. And I said, you're a bad mother effer.
Yeah.
All right, two then.
He freaked me out. I didn't know he was in the bar. And all of a sudden, I was talking to Nick, and somebody picks me up from behind.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell's going on? I turn around, it's Jesse James Dupree.
Awesome.
But the booze that he was gracious enough to share with us was delicious.
He hasn't changed a bit.
No, he has
years.
not.
He's still the same cordial guy. And
yes.
He's talking about his son who's playing with him, and you could tell how proud he was.
Yeah. And I went and saw the show. He put on a great show. Jesse's, like I've been saying for a couple months around here leading up to his show there at Turtle Lake, he's just one of my favorites in the rock and roll business. He has such a great personality, and he's so fun and funny on stage, and the show was enjoyable as hell. And I'm telling you, the chainsaw bit, when he comes out with the chainsaw and plays along to the song, the Lumberjack, and when he cuts up the bar stool at the end of the night, it's still one of my favorite gimmicks in the history of rock and roll. What a clever, original gimmick that is, and it still works every time.
There was a guy there who he was a Jesse fan or a Jackal fan. He brought in his own chainsaw.
That was awesome.
And he was so excited that Jesse's signing this chainsaw, and Jesse's giving him advice on ways to operate the chainsaw. And you could tell he was paying attention to every word he said. and he couldn't wait to get out of there and try that advice out.
He had to have like security bring him in and out. That's funny.
It's just a dude carrying a chainsaw into a casino.
Normal behavior.
I was wondering how the hell you got into a chainsaw. Well, pardon me, I'll get there. How you get into a casino carrying a chainsaw? I was surprised that happened.
Yeah, they had the big, what's his name, Steve Wilkos? Is that giant security guard that used to be on Jerry or one of those shows?
Yep.
Yeah, he had a security guy that looked just like that.
But let me tell you something. So, yeah, love you, Jess. If you get the message, thanks for coming. Hope to see him again soon. You know, my buddy, one of my buddies that was with me over the weekend, he said, you know, Jesse still plays 70 or so shows a year with Jackal, and then he goes off and branches, you know, off and does his solo shows. So hopefully we can see him again in the near future. I'll keep an eye on his schedule. But yeah, I enjoyed that whiskey so much, Josh. It kind of scared me a little bit.
I mean, it really was good.
It kind of scared me a little bit because, you know, hard liquor and I, we never really got along very well. But all of a sudden I started to think, you know, maybe I could make this a regular part of my drinking. But I'm a little nervous because hard liquor and I never really got along. Now I blame myself for that failed relationship because I don't think I was mature enough for the relationship yet.
Yeah.
I wasn't mature enough.
You've slowed down a little bit for the better.
Well, yeah, but I guess I'm referencing strictly hard liquor.
That's what I mean. Like, I think you could handle it now. You
think so?
Yeah.
But it took me 20 or so years to learn how to slow down with beer. If I got into hard liquor, I wonder if I just go the other way and be a total mess.
Well, the problem I think with this stuff is there was no like bite. You know, it didn't feel rough at all.
No.
It almost didn't seem like you were drinking alcohol. So I can see that being the issue with that one.
I've learned to curb my beer intake. But suddenly, if I decided to go with hard liquor, I wonder if I'd have the willpower to still keep it in, what's the word everyone uses now? Moderation. Because it was so good, I wanted more. I wanted more right now.
Did everyone here try it?
Yes.
Yep.
Because, you know, part of the reason why I freaked out on that airplane is because I had a full bottle of vodka in my belly. You know,
I think it was more the other substance, but yeah.
I took some drugs too, whatever. All I'm saying is, was it good? And it got me thinking, you know, there's a whole nother world out there. I love beer. And I can still make plenty of mistakes just on beer. But there's this whole other world out there that I've ignored. I mean, one of the last times I drank hard liquor, I woke up. Luckily, I was in my pal's driveway. I wasn't in a parking lot or something. But I woke up in a car in my pal's driveway, and I was nude from the waist down.
No way.
Oh.
$20 is $20.
Yeah.
And at first I thought, oh, my God, what have I done? Why am I? Oh, no, I masturbated. That's what I thought.
Oh, did you really?
That's what I thought. I thought, oh, my God, did I take my piss? But then I noticed that my feet were wet. I urinated.
You peed on yourself.
Yeah.
In a car?
Yeah.
Leather seats, I hope?
Oh, this was a pile of garbage. Yeah, I mean, you couldn't even tell that someone had. You know what I'm talking about? This was like a beater.
Yeah.
It was a beater, and I'm not trying to be cute with that. So at one point or another, I took my pants and my underwears down to my ankles because I had to go potty. And my guess is, this is just a guess, I was too drunk to physically get out of the car. There were no keys in the car, just in case anybody wants to call the cops. I didn't get in the car to drive it. I got in the car to sleep. And, I must have been too drunk to get out of the car. And so I just peed on my feet.
There was a weird thing that happened in Turtle Lake that I was not expecting. And And that was how much crap I got for what I ordered to eat on Thursday night. And you guys are all involved in this.
I'm sorry, man. I had to say something.
I ordered a ham sandwich.
Oh, I love that bit. Yeah.
And I just got it as is. I'm a
Ham.
simple man. I just ordered straight off the menu.
Oh, my gosh.
Sandwich.
And I got crap from so many people asking why I didn't put cheese on it.
Because it was just ham and bread, wasn't it?
Are you
And
trying?
pickles.
It was mustard, ham, and pickles.
And pickles.
Are you trying to limit your, what's the word?
Like dairy or
Dairy?
calories?
Yeah.
No, I just
lactose.
I just took however it was. It just basically said ham sandwich. It's like, I'll take that. I didn't know what came on it, what didn't come on it. And I was completely fine with it. But, I mean, it was crazy how many people gave me crap about
Yeah,
this.
you were getting your
I was-
chops busted pretty good.
Yeah, and I never expected such a thing.
Are you saying you expected cheese to be on the sandwich?
I didn't expect anything. I knew there'd be ham on it. I just whatever they handed me, I was, look, I'll eat that, and I didn't even think about it. Other than I thought, well, there's a lot less on here than maybe you would have expected, but I'm not kidding. I got crap from probably like 12 people
Yeah.
talking
bad.
about it.
Even strangers
feel
that didn't
bad.
even know you, they were just walking
Yeah.
by. Yeah. Oh, what's with that sandwich, dude?
Well, I think I was vocal about it.
Yeah, you were one
Yeah.
of them. My kids were all over me. I mean, like Dana said, there were strangers talking about it. It
I
was
think I
so
even
weird.
brought it up to somebody else.
Did you? I honestly, you know how it is. Sometimes you get crap for something you're not expecting.
Here's the thing. Okay, it is a little disappointing that you didn't put cheese on your sandwich, but I think you made up for it by adding pickles and mustard.
Oh, that was really good.
So I think, in my opinion, it's a wash.
Yeah, I was fine with it. And I got more crap for that than I did for my Packers gear, which I did get crap for.
People were FaceTiming their friends, like, get a load of this guy's sandwich.
And I've seen you make more questionable food choices over the years, so I'm gonna let this die. I'm not gonna give you any more heat over your ham with no cheese sandwich. A few days ago, you were expressing excitement over hummus,
Oh, I love
Yeah.
hummus.
so I'm not mad at you for the ham sandwich.
And even if I ordered it that way, it would seem weird that I got crap for it. Like, you guys can go ahead and eat whatever you want. I mean, you go ahead. That's fine.
Did
I
you
just
tell
ordered
folks-
it right off the menu. It's not like they said, hey, just so you know, this is just ham and pickles.
Yeah.
Well, okay, now here's the thing. This just dawned on me. I can't say a word anymore about your ham sandwich. What movie? Austin Powers. I can't say anything more about it because when I like a good ham sandwich, so I copycatted you. You had already had dinner. I walked in. I needed dinner. I went to the corner. How do you say it? The counter and ordered a ham sandwich, and the guy said, "Okay, cool." And I said, "Well, does anything come on that?" And he said, "Well, yeah. What do you want on it?" I said, "Does it come with cheese?" And he said, "We can put cheese on it." So, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You needed to be specific that you wanted something other than ham on that sandwich.
It could have happened to you.
So it could have happened to me.
Yeah. And you probably wouldn't have complained or assumed you'd get all levels of heck for it.
Again, the other day, somebody said hummus, and Josh, ooh, hummus. So if there's anything to bust his balls about, it would be that, not how he eats his ham sandwich.
Some hummus on that would have hit the spot.
Oh, God.
would have been perfect.
I just got a chill up my spine. Hummus. What's the matter with you?
It's good.
No, it's not.
It's good. It's good.
All right. Later on today, Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder will be here. Talk a little sports. Everything's happening all at once. The World Series now is all ready to go. And, oh, God, we can't wait for the World Series.
It's the one everybody wanted.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys know that even when I was in the cooler, we watched the World Series, had a riot. But a little of the excitement's been taken away from it. It's the Yankees and the Dodgers. And I guess I'll root for the Dodgers. I've become the world's most critical WNBA fan as of last night. I have plenty to say about the WNBA later. It's a damn shame what happened to the Minnesota Lynx.
got boned.
Again, I'm brand new to the scene, but they had a great season. But we'll get into they got totally boned. The Vikings game yesterday, I hear that was something to see.
They got boned, too.
Did they get boned? How'd they get boned?
Yeah, they kind of boned themselves.
I thought they boned themselves.
Yeah, it was a self-bone.
Yeah, who boned them?
Themselves.
Oh, they.
Yeah, well, Waffle
you said they got boned. Did you mean that they boned themselves?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want cheese on that or not?
Because if you don't get it, you're going to get all levels of hell.
Yeah.
I'll get ham sandwich.
They lost yesterday. The Vikings did, huh?
Yeah, they did.
Mm-hmm.
They had plenty of opportunities to
it was
win.
Upsetting. kind of bummer, but whatever.
We'll talk all about that with Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder. Oh, and one more thing that you need to know. Now, on our Friday morning broadcast out there in Wisconsin, and I still can't get all the dirt off of me from our trip to. On our Friday morning broadcast, we made some noise about a big fat-ass concert announcement.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait for this. It's going to be huge. When do we get to do this concert announcement that we've been promoting?
Well,
Nothing can go wrong. What is it?
don't get mistaken here, Josh. That announcement is still a factor this morning.
Can't wait.
Still a factor. But that concert announcement will not be made on this here program.
We lost our concert announcement privileges?
It will not be made on this here program. The uppity-ups say you can catch it at 10 a.m. right here on 93X. By 10 a.m., I will be sound asleep.
Yeah, maybe it's like rock stars. They don't wake up early. They don't want a 9 a.m. concert announcement. You got to move that to 10.
So sorry to blue ball you. If all you've been thinking about since Friday is, oh, for Christ's sake, who's the concert on Monday and the half-ass? It's not. We're going to be asleep at 10 a.m. That announcement will be made. It's supposed to be a real keeper.
I know there's been excitement around the building for it, enough so that they didn't think we could handle it, I guess.
It's supposed to be a real keeper, so stay tuned. Stay tuned the F in to 93X. I'll always walk with Elias texted in to say, is it the Gin Blossoms and the Goo Goo Dolls?
Oh, I hope so.
If it was 1996, it would be the Gin Blossoms and the Goo Goo Dolls. I always wanted to punch every member of the Gin Blossoms. I did.
Yeah.
I hated that band.
I was fine
Hated
with them,
that.
but I wasn't a fan.
Oh, God.
But I
Why'd you
wasn't
hate
not
him
a
so
fan.
much?
Why did I hate them so much?
Yeah.
How much time have you spent listening to the Gin Blossoms?
Not much.
Okay, well, listen, take the week, make this Gin Blossom week for
all right.
Ashley, and then get back. I bet the next time I see you, after you spend an entire week listening to you had to work at this radio station in the mid-'90s maybe to fully understand, Ashley.
I think that's it, right?
Take 4 days, listen to the Gin Blossoms, and I bet you come back with hardened, with a violent attitude.
If you worked at an alternative radio station like we did, or if you worked, let's say, in a clothing store that would have, the hottest music of the day, you'd be super tired of the Gin Blossoms.
All right, one of those.
Because it wasn't like they had this huge catalog that got played on the radio. Maybe they have wonderful other songs, but it was like one or two songs that got played on the radio.
If anyone runs into the Gin Blossoms, tell them I want to fight them. I want to fight them. It's time. All right, we got to take a break. You're a terrific crowd. It's the Monday Fresh from Wisconsin edition of the Half-Assed Morning Show. We got the stupid news coming up here in a few minutes. Go ahead.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Our technicians are geared up and ready to make sure your system is running reliably this winter. Regular maintenance from Standard Heating and Air Conditioning helps prevent costlier breakdowns in the future, and we know they always happen at the worst time.
Hey, Ashley here. Get your home ready for winter. Schedule your furnace tune-up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning and save $30. Have a boiler? Save $40 on your boiler tune-up. Visit standardheating.com to book and lock in your savings. Stay cozy, stay ready.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are the things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. Excited as always to dump this here stupid news report on you. Sucks to have derelicts break smooth into your house. I know Cubby over there has gone through it once or twice.
It's unpleasant for sure.
I've always been impressed, Josh, by how well you appeared to, and this wasn't planned on purpose to prompt a comedy bit, I've always been impressed by how well you appeared to keep your composure after your place got busted into.
Well, it happened when we were kids. Our garage quite a few times, house once. But
I'm talking about in the last 10, 12 years when garbage-ass crooks stole a couple of your guitars and such.
Yeah, it was certainly disappointing. But you know what? I think it didn't. I was more worried about our kids, like being the sense of being violated or, like you're no longer safe in your own
right.
home. Yep. They handled it really well. But I just figured, speaking of kids, there's probably a couple of teenagers in the neighborhood. So it didn't freak me out too much, other than it was really annoying.
Absolutely.
I was just talking about this over the weekend. I can't remember how it came up, but...
Annoying, frustrating.
Yeah, it's disappointing, to say the least.
You thought you got yourself into a nice neighborhood.
Yeah, and then this happens. But there was, at the time, I bought a TV mount for the wall before I had a TV. And I had put that up, poorly, probably. And so the cops are coming.
No sign of a stud anywhere.
No, yeah.
Lag bolts hanging on to sheetrock.
Well, I built the wall too. Yeah, there's no stud. I just kind of taped it. I taped everything up. And so the cop's like, he's like, oh, they got your TV, huh? And I was like, nah, we haven't gotten one yet. He's like, there's no TV here? I'm like, nah, I just put this up. He's like, you're sure there was no TV? I'm like, no TV. He's like, you didn't get a brand new 65-inch that was up on that wall? Joking around as if I could say, oh, yeah, it was the latest OLED technology.
Right.
That's right, I forgot.
Well, but again, I mean, you kept yourself together so well after what is a horrible thing. Someone invading the privacy of your friggin' house, snatching up items that you spent your hard-earned money on, items that meant something to you. You came into work, the day after this happened, and you didn't look any different. You didn't carry yourself any differently to where if it would have happened to me, I probably would have looked disheveled, looked angry, probably would have been red-faced from my blood pressure skyrocketing. I mean, if I came home and saw that the joint was broken into, my temper is such to where I'd likely do more damage to my house than the crooks did as I'm spinning around in circles, screaming and swinging a hockey stick or something, having a full-on adult-style temper meltdown over the situation. The cops would end up arresting me. You kept it together, and I've always been impressed by that because, oh, damn, would that piss me off.
I knew these guys were amateurs because times that we've had stuff broken into before, they would take anything that's easily sold or you can easily spend, right? Change. You got change in your cigarette holster.
The chain.
What are they called?
You're talking about breaking into your car.
Yeah, car, house, whatever. They would take change. My wife had just had oral surgery, and she had some Vicodin on the kitchen or the bathroom counter, right? They didn't take that. They went through a bunch of drawers. They tried to take my computer monitor, which was on a monitor arm, right, attached to the desk. They broke my desk and couldn't figure out. All they had to do was lift the monitor up to get it off. My mom's checkbook was there because she was out of the country and I was paying her bills for the month. They didn't take that. So these guys were complete morons. I don't know, for whatever reason, that made it a little better.
Yeah.
Anyone got any jokes about Josh's wife's oral surgery? No? Cool.
I was going to leave that one.
So I'll tell you, you mentioned the change in the car that got snatched up when you were younger. A couple of my buddies lived together a number of years ago, and they had the house broken into. And the derelicts took, I believe, a computer. Well, these two pals of mine, they never really had much of any value in the house. But the derelicts did take the computer, and they took one of my bros' change jars. Oh, you know him. Wang. Wang had his change jar taken, and he had a big stinking barrel, for his loose change. He probably had a couple $100 worth of change in there, right? And it really, really, really bothered Wang that the place was broken into and his change jar got snatched. His roommate at the time, sure, it bothered that guy too, but he was able to get over it, kind of like the way you just heard Josh saying, you could tell they were amateurs, probably teenage kids. You know, one guy was able to deal with it pretty well. Wang was not. He felt so violated, and I don't blame him. But the reason I bring it up is all they got from Wang was his change jar, okay? The computer belonged to the other roommate. So, you know, sure, it sucks, but it was just your change jar. But I'll tell you, Wang was so bothered by this, whenever he would come over to my house, somebody who would be hanging out would grab my change jar and just kind of rattle it a little bit to remind Wang of what had happened to him.
To rattle him?
Yeah, to rattle him. Oh, my God, that was fun. Whenever Wang would stop by, someone would go grab my change jar and just kind of and he'd go, "Stop it!"
R6 Jesus had his CD stolen out of his car at a house party in high school.
Oh, that sucks.
I had that. I had one of those huge suitcases full of tapes that was in my car. This was also in high school, and that got taken. I was pretty heartbroken there because, I mean, I accumulated those over many, many, many years, and it was every single one I had in there. And afterwards, I'm like,
that sucks.
We've had our cars broken into so many times. Why would I leave all this crap in there? I didn't even think about it. But my uncle, when he lived with us in the commune, he had written a note on his car that you put in his window every night and say, "Don't break the effing window. The car door is open," because he got so tired of replacing windows, which was a bigger pain in the ass.
All the glass service companies in town knew your uncle's name.
Yeah.
Did you ever think, Josh, when those crooks were going through your cassette tapes, did you ever think maybe how they reacted to some of the bands you had in there? Danger, danger. Who listens to Danger, Danger?
Well, because I wish I could explain something. No. Listen to the complicated riffs from Andy Timmons. Listen to some of those solos.
Who the hell listens to the Sleaze Bees? What's wrong with this kid?
Again, Stranger Than Paradise. Give that song a re-listen. So I could give them an example.
Da-da, Stranger in Paradise. I remember that one. Okay, back to
That's a catchy tune.
I never liked it. It was terrible.
Remember the breakdown where they have the flamenco guitar in there?
No.
You remember.
Lillian Axe.
I actually didn't have Lillian Axe.
Oh. I thought you were cool. Here's the deal. Derelicts broke into a guy's house. This was in Greece. Okay? So, after all this conversation, Josh, let me ask you this. What would you rather have? If you could have it happen all over again, I'm talking about at your home, not back from when you were a kid. If you could have it happen all over again, would you rather have the thieves just take your stuff again, or would you rather they do something perverted with your personal items and then leave? So the first scenario, your guitars are gone. The second scenario, maybe they kind of fondle your guitars a little bit, do something bizarre to it, and then leave. You can clean up the guitars. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. What would you rather have happen?
By far, steal the stuff.
Just take it out of. Don't do anything weird with it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. If somebody just comes in and they hump a bass guitar and leave, I'm more disturbed by that person being in my home versus a couple of dumb teenagers that lived in the neighborhood.
Makes sense. A feller in Greece was convicted of breaking into his neighbors' homes repeatedly, I guess, or sneaking onto their properties. Sometimes he wouldn't actually enter their homes. And he was there to smell their shoes. He'd take a big whiff, and next thing you know, it was Boner City. The smell of feet gave him a full-on bone hard. That was his gimmick. Sometimes he'd break into the house to
No.
Sometimes, I don't know if this is a Greek thing or whatever, but he would find shoes out on the front step and whatnot, and he'd take a kind of a thing. That was his bit. Now, when this nutbag was caught by the Greek feet police, he said he couldn't explain his actions. But he admitted that he was, quote, greatly embarrassed. He said he had no intention of breaking the law or harming anybody. And victims who had their shoes sniffed, they confirmed to the cops that old Dr. Scholes here, they said he had never been aggressive or violent. Apparently, he smelled all the shoes in the houses. He wasn't targeting anyone in particular. Whatever shoes he found, he just, oh, that's the stuff right there. He'd inhale like a bastard. He loved it. Loved it.
I can't say, I mean, I don't think I'd ever, in fact, I know. I would never sniff a stranger's shoes, right? That would never violate that person. But I can't say I would never be a shoe sniffer of like my wife or something like that.
Well, I think you've mentioned this before. That maybe you want to try out your wife's drawers or something like that.
No, well, it's not that. It's not that at all. I'm just saying normally I would judge a person, because they say don't judge someone until you've sniffed a mile of their shoes or whatever the saying is, right?
Right. Yeah. I think you nailed it.
But I never thought that I would be a sniffer in any way, but COVID, isolation for 10 days when it first started, I'm not proud of something that happened on day 9.
Yeah.
Where I was desperate. You have to understand, I was desperate. I was locked in a room for 10 days eventually, but on day 9, I broke.
You were sick. No one was coming anywhere near you for 9, 10 days.
No, and the first time I had COVID, I would never have known if we weren't just testing weekly around here, if we didn't have to test every week, I never would have known I had it. I felt completely fine. I was very lucky.
Right.
And then by day 9, I was in such a position of all that isolation.
What did you do again?
I sniffed some panties.
Isolate that.
No, we're not going to isolate that.
Whose did they belong to?
My wife.
Your wife?
Yeah.
And what did you think?
Well, I felt very guilty about it.
I bet you did.
I did text her. I said, I'm sorry, I sniffed your panties, but you just left them there, and it was 9 days. What was I going to do?
That's an interesting text message to receive.
You texted her and said, "Hey, sorry, but I just took a big pull out of your drawers."
Yeah, I felt guilty about it.
Did she ask for a review? What's the word I'm looking for? Did she ask for your thoughts?
No, I don't
feedback
think she
or
ever
anything?
Did.
No, she never did.
She left me on red. Ashley.
Oh, no. That sucks,
red.
dude. That's so awkward.
Okay, what does that mean to be left on red?
Ashley, you go ahead.
It means that she read the text message and then decided not to respond.
Oh. Yeah,
I never thought I would do something like that.
You crossed the line.
I did, and I can't say that I wouldn't do something in this guy's position if I was isolated again for 10 days.
We love your honesty. We appreciate your honesty. You crossed a line that you never thought you'd cross, but you were in a desperate spot. To close out the story on old Sniffles here, a judge dumped a 1-month suspended sentence on him. Oh, and he ordered the sumbitch to go get some of that Pharaoh pee.
Yeah, he might need some if you're going up to strangers' homes. It was day 6. I lied to you guys. I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed at first.
It only took you 6 days to get to that point.
Yeah, 4. It was day 3. It was day 3.
And it was constant.
It was day 3 through 10.
Wore them as a face mask the entire 10 days.
Your honesty is appreciated. Yeah, it's a little different, but
I thought that you guys, somebody here has admitted they've done that before.
Oh, when I was a kid, I did, yeah.
You did, okay.
Yeah. But I was a kid.
Well,
not a 46-year-old man or whatever you were at the time.
I was in a situation. It was the new normal. It was unprecedented times. Do you remember? It was unprecedented times.
Yes.
It was panty sniffing time.
Well, how sick do you think you have to be with COVID before you start trying your wife's drawers on? How many days alone do you have to be before you're modeling in front of a mirror?
Now, keep in mind, I've only had COVID 4 times.
Oh, my God.
But the last 3 times, I couldn't even move. There's no way I could sniff anything. She could put it over my head, and I wouldn't know.
4 times.
That's all.
It's hilarious. It really is.
I mentioned before, I got a key to the city of Egan. Once you hit the 4th one, you get a key to your city.
All right. We continue on here with the stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show with Nick, Dana, Wapple, Ashley, and old panty sniff over here. Sniffy. This really sucks eggs right here. What I have for you now is another one of those shoe store break-ins where the dickbag thieves snatch all the shoes on display, and then they make their way out of the joint with all right-footed shoes. We've heard a few of these before. The shoe store, as you know, when you go buy a pair of those tennis shoes that make every one of you look like a 12-year-old, when you go to the shoe store, they only display one damn shoe from each pair, but these prick bastards stole them anyway. And unfortunately, this time around, the store owner says that the robbery might have completely effed him to the point where he's going to have to go smooth out of business. That's the stuff that really pisses me off.
Me too.
Poor effing guy trying to make a damn living. Scumbag effing crooks. They don't care. Grown folks stealing tennis shoes. You puke bags should be real proud of yourselves. This was in Cincinnati. Grown folks acting like little bitches swiped 100 right-footed shoes from the joint. It's called Soul Bros. It's got a cute name.
I do like that. I get it.
The owner.
And I like that you like that. Usually you hate puns.
That's a pun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like sole, like a shoe sole.
Oh, that didn't even dawn on me.
Oh, I thought that's why you appreciate it.
No, I just thought it was. I didn't.
Even better now, right?
I didn't make the connection with sole like your foot. I just thought it was a cute.
Even better now that you know.
Is it even better now that I know it's a pun?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
It's 9 times out of 10. I hate those puns, Josh, because of the way they're written.
Yeah. Right. I understand.
It's not so much
but sometimes there's really good ones. I feel like you just sniffed my panties. We made a connection right there. Finally, there's a pun you appreciate.
I have. I found one. The owner of this joint, a fella called Hunter, he said that the security system at his shop went off around 2 a.m. a few days ago, and somehow he was able to watch video of these ass clowns robbing his shop. That had to have been frustrating, and he's, I'm sure, making phone calls right away. He got to watch this happen from the comfort of his own home. The bitches made off with over 100 right shoes. They also did get their hands on some full pairs and some clothing and this and that. Security video from outside the store shows one of the bastards drinking a bottle of hooch before they break in. He can't do it sober. And it's just a shame. The shoe store just cut loose with its grand opening a few months ago.
Oh, bummer.
They trashed the friggin' place. Hunter, the store owner, says this is going to cost them around $45,000.
Oh, man.
Thanks to the bitches. And this guy's had a tough go in his professional life already. Just trying to run a shoe store here and there. A year ago or so, he was running some other type of a shoe shop, and some moron crashed their car through the front of the store. There's no details on if the guy was drunk or he just hated shoes or what the hell. But so now twice in the last, year or so, one moron's crashed right through the front of his shop. He's got to repair that, and now these clowns stop by and steal 100 of his right-footed shoes.
There was a salon right next to where I grew up on an intersection of a couple busy roads, and within a year, 3 people, via accidents, right, getting into crashes, turning left, 3 people were sent right through that store. They had to close, and it took forever for anybody.
No one got killed?
Back up. No, thank God. Nobody even got injured in this. There were some injuries in the accidents, but luckily nobody super severe.
People
died.
sitting in there getting their hair done.
Yeah, and it was like a little tiny hole-in-the-wall salon, but they had to eventually close. They tried everything. They put like one of those big concrete ballards, whatever you call them, in front of it, and it didn't matter. I mean, on the 3rd time, they just had to get out.
Yeah.
Didn't you also have a house in your neighborhood that kept getting smashed into by cars? Because we had that. There was a downhill and then a hard left.
Yep.
And at the bottom of the hill, there was a house in my neighborhood. That house just kept getting pasted into by drunks.
This was actually a friend who lived in Prior Lake, and it was the same type of thing. And it was, you had to go to get to a particular bar. That's the way people went. And sometimes people would show up a little tuned to that bar. He put like a bunch of boulders in his front lawn, and eventually had some kids and decided, this is happening too much.
This is unsafe.
The good news is for Hunter, the shoe store owner here, he said he tossed an update on his situation up there on that godless social media, and he said that because of the love and support he's received from the community, his store will remain open. So someone in the neighborhood must have written him a check and helped him out. And this Hunter guy's a pimp. He said, I'm still upset. Yeah, and of course you are. I'm still upset, he said, but I don't want to carry any more hate in my heart. I wish I could adopt that kind of a thing, but I just keep piling up hate.
Yes.
I think he said, he's become more religious in the last couple of years, and that's kind of what prompted his forgiveness.
Religion?
If you are just tuning in a few seconds ago, Dana admitted that he's a panty sniffer.
It sure did. Proud of it, too.
Parks and Rec Jesus sent a funny picture. It's a guy sniffing panties, and he's kind of like looking around as if I hope I don't get caught. And it says, my wife's sister tried to kill me yesterday. What kind of sick person puts chloroform on her dirty panties? Yeah, what's her problem?
Man. Oh, you folks know that the fun never ends on airplane rides these days. Usually it's childlike meltdowns from grown passengers that creates all the midair pant wetting that we read about regularly in our stupid news reports. It's a little different, this one here. A little different. An airplane captain got himself suspended for locking his female co-pilot out the cockpit. It was something called Sri Lankan Airlines, and they had a flight on its way to, you guessed it, Sri Lankan. That's where they were. Says here the co-pilot, a gal, she had to hit the head along the way while they were flying. You know how they do. They fly across the sky. She had to go to the bathroom. She left the dude pilot behind the wheel of the airplane all by himself. When she came back from the bathroom, she was locked out of the cockpit. Now, what it says here.
Can you imagine the confusion? Like, what the hell? I forgot how to open a door.
Yeah, I got a job to do in there, and some bitches got me locked out. It says here the pilot locked her out because she hadn't arranged for someone to take her place during her bathroom break, which is a violation of, quote, standard operating procedures. So we got a dude here, by damn, does he go by the book? Apparently there was a tense standoff with the two of them shouting back and forth through the cockpit door. And then at one point or another, a senior flight attendant talked the pilot into letting his co-pilot back in to do her effing job.
Oh, that's good.
The plane landed without any further incidents, although I'm sure they were probably F-bombing each other up in that driver's seat. But it...
Pretty awkward, right?
Very, very much.
The rest of the flight, I'm sure, was kind of silent.
But it sounds like here the prick pilot was right about the rules. According to the story here, pilots, of course, can leave the cockpit mid-flight to make a turd, but international aviation protocols mandate that two pilots be present on the flight deck at all time. If there is no third pilot, a flight attendant must stand in the cockpit until the other person returns. Are you following the words that are coming out?
Yeah,
right.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
Sure. Okay, so the pilot was right. He just didn't need to be a fourth grader about it and start locking doors on his coworkers. And I imagine...
They must have despised each other.
Could be. But in a lot of cases, you know, pilots and co-pilots, they mix it up. They don't work with the same sumbitch over and over and over again. At least I get my information from one of my favorite television shows, Air Disasters. Oh, I love to watch Air Disasters to see how some of you fools are going to meet your fate. But what's explained to me in Air Disasters is a lot of the times when the pilot and co-pilot sit their fat asses down for a plane ride, they say, hey, I'm Donnie. Oh, hey, I'm Ronnie. They've never met. Or they say, didn't we work 7 years ago? We went to Chicago, picked up some broads. You know what I mean? They don't. So that adds to the awkwardness, right? That they really don't know each other.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they probably didn't know each other very well. So, and I'm also going to assume that plenty of times one co-pilot or pilot goes to take a whiz and they don't, well, I'll bring the flight attendant in. You know what I mean? I'm sure they bend this rule quite often. But the pilot had to be a dick about it this time and lock the door. That's silly.
Maybe it was an emergency where she's like, if I don't make it, if I don't run now,
Right.
it's going to be trouble. Like anytime my wife comes home, it's a pee emergency. As soon as that door opens, I know I got to clear the way. I mean, I'm not joking. I'm gonna hug the wall so she can run by and run into the bathroom.
Josh is barrel rolling down the hallway to get out of the way.
We all know, or if I hear that garage door open and I got to pee, I'll just go to the other bathroom because I know she's going to need to run in and get right there.
Has she ever admitted to you that she's in a full-on code brown?
No, never a code brown.
Good.
But the pant peeing.
Has she ever admitted to sniffing your boxers?
No, I don't think she'd do that. You know why? She's not a freak like I guess I am when I have
You are a
COVID.
freak.
When I get COVID, I'm a freak.
You're a little pervert.
Oh, geez, Jesus said it was the opposite. I mentioned, when I was, Dana mentioned when he had COVID, he, after all the isolation, he resorted to sniffing panties. And apparently, oh, geez, Jesus said that's how he got COVID, is sniffing panties.
Man.
They don't the CDC should put that out.
No, I read that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
read
they
that.
did mention that.
Well, I just got so much fatigue, I forgot to read that.
Yeah, they said, wash your
They should
hands.
lead with that.
Social distancing, wash their hands, and you didn't read any further than
I
that?
thought that was it. Okay, so social distancing.
Yeah.
Wash your hands, and what else?
The third one, they said, keep your friggin' schnoz out of dirty panties. And you'll be all right, they said. You missed that part.
I would watch.
And so did what was his name? OG Jesus?
Oh, geez, Jesus,
Yeah.
yeah. Can you imagine just Fauci standing there holding up a thong?
Yeah. He demonstrates how to huff them up straight.
All right,
Don't do this.
Yeah, exactly.
I always thought that guy was cute. All right, another airplane ride nightmare. We can make that work, can't we? We can go back to back skis.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, look at the time, for Christ's sake. Air India. A lady's upset with that airplane company, again by the name of Air India. She says she found a cockroach in her meal earlier this month on their airplane. The gal called Suyisha. She wrote about this here deal on Twitter. This is her quote. She said, found a cockroach in the omelet served to me on the Air India flight from Delhi to New York. She said, oh, no, her 2-year-old had already eaten the omelet by the time she found the cockroach.
Yuck.
No.
Their little 2-year-old ate a cockroach. And Mom must have had something or another to eat from that omelet, too, because she claims both of them got food poisoning. They were spraying out of both ends. So the kid and the mom might have eaten some cockroach turds or something like that.
I could eat around a lot of stuff, but just not bugs I'm not a fan of.
No.
Unfortunately, there's a room in my house I can't go into because I found a box elder bug and a ladybug in there.
Oh,
so
that's too much.
I've closed it off. Police tape, everything.
They had the fire
Seal
hose
it shut.
happening, both ends, Mom and her kid, spraying out of both ends. The gal got her cell phone out and recorded other problems she ran into on this particular airplane ride. Okay, well, she ran into other problems. The pouches on the seat in front of her were not clean. Okay. You can get over that, can't you? That the pouch, you know what I'm talking about?
I think
Yeah.
I'd be all
The
right.
seat in front of you. I don't-
They never usually are.
no, I mean, what are you doing? Dipping your whole hand in there? Yeah, there's going to be boogers in there and whatnot. So that was, I guess that's her full range of complaints. She and her kid got diarrhea. She said they ate a cockroach that was in the omelet, and the pouches on the seat were not clean.
What's the point of even bringing up you ate a cockroach? That's
Right.
good enough.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, yeah.
pouches thing, you kind of ruined it.
Right. Silly. A couple weeks ago, some other dode flying on that Air India setup, he also bitched about how things were set up on the plane. He took videos. He didn't like the way things were put together. Oh, God, he said the first class cabin was filled with hair.
Oh.
It was like a retro porn movie, he said. And he says there was dirt everywhere, and his headphones were dirty.
Speaking of that kind of hair, I watched the Nothing But a Good Time documentary on hair metal.
Sure.
Over the weekend. And
You got through it?
yeah, I did. I actually kind of got choked up a couple times with some sad stories.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it, because I've meant to watch this, but I keep forgetting about
I
it.
think you'll enjoy it. And there's few stories I'd never heard before. They put it together really well. But There was a picture that I forgot about of Guns N' Roses back when they were living in that disgusting house, when they first got going.
Yes.
And I don't understand why he had to take a picture like this, but Slash is shirtless, which was very common for him back then.
Right.
His pubes were hanging. You remember that picture?
Yeah. I know the picture.
I forgot about that, and I thought they didn't need to put that in there. I mean, there was a lot of pubes for the 80s.
I remember this. Are they posing in that house?
Yeah, they're in that house posing.
And they're all greasy and sweaty and looking, completely strung out on heroin. And Slash, right, he forgot to put a shirt on. Total accident. He just forgot.
Yeah, well, yeah, he wasn't expecting the camera to be there as they all posed for it.
Right, he's got a pair of leather pants on, but he hasn't zipped up.
Exactly.
Or snapped the front of his, and full-on bush.
Yeah.
Just piling out of the front of those leather pants. Disgusting.
Why?
I don't know, because he wanted everyone to, oh, God, look how wasted I am. And you know how the 80s were.
I was so offended, I paused it for about 30 minutes. And just
I don't even know what's going on. I'm so wasted, I don't even know what's going on.
Are these my pubes?
Yeah, right.
Wow, how embarrassing. Mouse and Jesus, he's got another advisory about sniffing panties. I had no idea the dangers. Oh, geez, Jesus tells us that's how we got COVID. Apparently, Mouse and I don't think I'm going to. All right.
Give it your best shot.
I didn't know you could catch this. From Mouse and Jesus, apparently he got Sniff-Philis.
He got
Sniff-Philis.
Now, is that a pun?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Sniff-Philis.
Sniff-Philis from the contact with the panties which were on somebody's genitals.
Oh, no. But you're back to your documentary.
Yeah.
The everyone has a good time. What's it called?
Nothing but a good time.
Nothing but a good time. The
like the
80s
debauchery
rock.
of 80s or whatever they called it.
A lot of those rockers were legitimately wasted, right?
Yep.
Just wasted 24 hours.
Sadly, there's a few some examples that were tragic. Talking about drugs and alcohol.
Oh, what we talking about? Janie Lane.
Janie Lane.
The dude from
Razzle.
Razzle. No, well, he got killed in a car wreck.
Yeah, it was because
Vince Neil
was drunk.
But a lot of them also, at the same time, a lot of them pretended to be wasted for their pictures. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure. There was always rumors like the Jack Daniels that Guns N' Roses had was colored water.
There was apple juice in there.
Do you think so?
No.
I assumed it was pretty legit based on their reputation.
I've heard true and false and this and but all I'm saying is some of those guys you can kind of tell. You remember back in high school when one of your buddies, drinking near beer, and then he'd act wasted.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
I was at a near beer party where they got a keg of
near beer party.
Yeah, so it was to find out who would be that person.
Yep.
Who would put on that "I'm so drunk" routine?
Yeah,
we did that before.
You did that too?
With a bottle of vodka though.
What was in it?
It was water. It was like there was maybe like a tablespoon or two of vodka in it, and then to get like a little bit of like the like the nail polish smell, and then it was all water. I still remember the girl that acted like completely hammered. We all knew it was going to be her too.
I gotta say, I was a little disappointed. There were about 3 people who were quote unquote drunk from that. One was this guy that was over the top. And then, they reveal at the end, dude, this was near beer. But I kind of was hoping more people would.
It's a long ways to go to shame some people.
It was pretty funny, yeah.
Tell me at least they had a real keg of beer there, too.
No, it was just, all they had was a keg of near beer.
Oh.
I'm not going to that party.
Was it a keg or one of those...
Party ball?
Party ball, yeah, that's what it's called.
Before we go, you brought up Guns N' Roses and that hair metal documentary. My favorite story, which I read out of Slash's autobiography about the early days of Guns N' Roses when they were living in honestly, I don't even think it was a house. It was a garage.
It looked like a house.
Okay.
And then they were pooping everywhere.
Yeah,
and
nice.
There was a toilet on the front porch.
If I'm not mistaken, in the book, Slash said they basically only had enough money to rent a garage to live in. So it's the 5 of them trying to make it as a rock and roll act there on the Sunset Strip, living in a garage. And Slash would often have to sleep on the floor on a broken-ass old mattress. He and Izzy Stradlin had to sleep side by side because there just was very little room, and they didn't have mattresses and blankets and things like that. So it was he and Izzy would often spoon each other to sleep on this little mattress on the floor of a garage. And he said it wasn't uncommon, of course, being budding rock stars, that Of course, they'd haul some ladies back to the place. And one night, he said he fell asleep on that mattress, and when he woke up, Izzy was right next to him, of course, having sex with some lady. And he said that wasn't totally out of the ordinary, whatever. He just said, I'll let him rock back and forth for a while. Eventually it'll end, and I can get back to sleep. He didn't get any sleep that night because Izzy's finish made its way over to Slash.
Oh no.
Isn't there? I thought there was like a funny term for that. Now it escapes me.
Friendly fire?
It was something other than that.
I don't know.
I'm sure somebody in the brother or sister could let me know.
That's when he said, look, boys, let's start playing some more gigs. I could use my own mattress at this point.
Yes.
That'd be tough to get past, I think.
Yeah,
I don't think I could.
Like I said, he didn't get much sleep the rest of that
What
night.
did doctors do? Do they amputate? I mean, can you keep using the limb or whatever it landed on?
That's a good question.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, that's not good. We got to take a break. We'll be right back.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
For the lead, Bates has delivered. Detroit is on top with 15 seconds left. So it's going to come down to 1 second and one play. Detroit brings an extra body, and they get to Darnold to take over first place.
A lot of areas we can improve on, but I'm proud of the way our guys battled, came back in the second half.
You guys see that football game yesterday?
Whole thing.
Yeah.
The whole thing?
All of it. Watched all of it.
I'll be damned. You're a big fan. Detroit Lions, they're not ready for anyone to take their division title away from them just yet, are they?
At first, it kind of looked like they might be, which I was appreciative for, but they changed that pretty quick.
You heard right there, a kid named Jake Bates kicked a 44-yard field goal with 15 seconds left. The Lions beat the Vikings by a couple of points yesterday over there at the new Metrodome. That's the Vikes' first loss of the season, don't you know? It went this way. It went that way. I caught the fourth quarter. I didn't see much of the game. I caught the fourth quarter. Vikes had a big fumble recovery for a touchdown. You probably, at that point, fun. Josh, you were thinking, well, they got this dicked.
Well, they got some momentum back.
Momentum?
They needed it.
You thought the game was over.
It didn't look so good. It kind of looked like the Lions just decided we're going to do whatever we want after that first quarter.
They're a pretty good ball club. We'll talk to Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder about this and many other things like, say, the World Series is all set to go. That starts Friday night. I found out last night that WNBA officials are just as bad as NBA officials. We'll get into that. What am I missing? I think that's about all I have time for right now. But again, we got the boys coming up later, and we'll go mental. Josh's news is coming up next.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Our technicians are geared up and ready to make sure your system is running reliably this winter. Regular maintenance from Standard Heating and Air Conditioning helps prevent costlier breakdowns in the future, and we know they always happen at the worst time.
Hey, Ashley here. Get your home ready for winter. Schedule your furnace tune-up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning and save $30. Have a boiler? Save $40 on your boiler tune-up. Visit standardheating.com to book and lock in your savings. Stay cozy, stay ready.
Robinhood's Hood Week is here. 12 days, 3 legendary offers, and unlimited bonus amounts. Earn 3% on IRA transfers with Robinhood Gold, 2% on transfers with at least a $10,000 margin balance, and 1% on brokerage transfers until October 27th. Hood Week ends soon, so visit Robinhood.com/HoodWeek. Investing is risky. Bonus offers subject to terms and conditions. Visit Robinhood.com/HoodWeek for more information. Margin is not suitable for all investors. Robinhood Gold is offered through Robinhood Gold LLC and is a subscription offering services for a fee. Brokerage services offered through Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
To press that thing and stuff, then I pressed it, it made the whole bus go backwards and stuff. And then I pressed the gas button and stuff, and then it stopped out of nowhere.
She won't be able to drive for another 9 years, but the parents of a Missouri second grader said she's already had her first crash. A bus driver had been conducting emergency training, teaching the students what to do if she had a medical emergency. When no one volunteered to assist, the second grader was chosen to take the driver's seat for some reason and participate in a hands-on lesson. The young student recalled pressing a button as instructed, which caused the bus to move backward, eventually crashing into another bus after she pressed the gas pedal. Her older sister, who was also on the bus, said the driver remained calm and simply parked it after the collision. There were unanswered questions regarding the bus driver's actions, such as whether the parking brake was engaged properly and if any disciplinary measures will be taken by the district.
I'm sorry, I missed something. Why was a little kid driving the bus?
That's the question.
Well, is it because you mentioned a second grader in Missouri? You have to keep in mind that second graders in Missouri are 17 years old.
Well, in this case, she was 7.
Oh,
yeah, she was
advanced.
Yeah, she was 7. A 29-year-old Miami-Dade middle school teacher was reassigned after he was caught in a disturbing act, and he was caught on video sniffing shorts. The video, posted on social media, shows the teacher bending down in a classroom, pulling an item from a backpack, taking a long sniff, not once, but 3 times. Parents said the item in question was a female student's shorts.
Bad for the little girl, and I feel bad for those parents of that little girl. Going to be traumatized.
Students and their families said the teacher instructs biology at the local middle school. Parents and students described the educator as a reserved man, not someone they expected as a shorts sniffer.
Well, that's a little creepy.
Yeah, that's not right.
3 hits off that thing. A 19-year-old shot a younger teen in the head during a robbery attempt, then ended up shooting himself right in the dicks, the appendix. Witnesses saw 2 men approach a 15-year-old boy, rob him while pointing a gun at him. Then multiple people heard gunshots. When police arrived, they found the 15-year-old with gunshot wounds to his head, shoulder, and armpit. He was rushed to a hospital where he needed emergency surgery and miraculously survived. Then a suspect was identified when he also showed up to the hospital with a gunshot wound and reportedly said, "I shot myself." The injury to his appendix lined up with a self-inflicted wound when he tried putting a gun into his waistband.
Wow.
That's how it looks cool.
Yeah.
He's due in court later this morning.
Right in the appendix.
The other kid was shot in the head and all kinds of things?
A couple times.
Oh, my God.
And he survived. Yeah.
That's incredible that he survived.
Running sideways.
Then in New York, a 37-year-old off-duty dispatcher for a Long Island Police Department accidentally shot himself in the hand while unloading his gun in a moving car. The bullet traveled through this freshly stigmatted hand and lodged into the wallet of a passenger, sparing that passenger's beehole. The dispatcher was inside a moving vehicle when he recklessly discharged his firearm, which he owned legally, police said in a news release. The gun went off as it was being unloaded in an unsafe manner in close proximity to others, quote unquote. A bullet went through the dispatcher's hand and pierced a wallet in the passenger's pocket. The dispatcher was treated at a hospital and is recovering. The passenger, whose wallet stopped the bullet, sustained only a minor injury. The dispatcher was arrested Wednesday and charged with reckless endangerment.
Oh, my God.
If only he had used his tech savvy and business acumen for good, this story might have turned out very differently. Instead, a 34-year-old California man stands accused of employing cutting-edge technology in a tragic and illegal way, using a drone to deliver drugs, including fentanyl, which contributed to a fatal overdose. An indictment outlines how he piloted a drone to drop off narcotics, in a church parking lot. One recipient picked up the drugs and passed them along to a woman who tragically died from an overdose the next day. Videos recovered from the $1,000 drone documented aerial drug drops, leading agents to conduct a raid on his home. There they discovered fentanyl, methamphetamine, and a small arsenal. The drone in question allows operators to fly with precision through a video feed displayed in goggles, with the manufacturer touting it as a groundbreaking, immersive experience for users of all skill levels, but they don't intend folks to use it for drugs. A second drone-involved story involves a very today twist on political disputes. A man in northern Maine used homemade explosives, including some dropped from drones, to intimidate others during a difference of opinion on local politics.
Here we go.
The 37-year-old set off explosives near several homes using devices made from fireworks, propane bottles, and other materials. One explosion was powerful enough to knock items off a wall. Officials believe his actions targeted people involved in a conflict with a former member of the local town board or his father-in-law, who serves as the town's road commissioner.
The road commissioner.
Yep.
People have to have their arms and legs blown off over who's the current reigning road commissioner in
That's a
town.
high position.
Yeah, that's a big
Oh,
title.
you have no idea the difference these people can make.
The moment of surprise for an Oklahoma cop came not when the Tulsa police officer pulled over a 26-year-old for a routine traffic stop, but when they caught sight of what was in his hands. As they approached the vehicle, the officers saw him groping a long, smooth, tube-shaped bit of flesh that under certain conditions will straighten to extend its length, ending in a defined head at the tip and a flickering tongue. The driver was holding a python. When the officers informed him he was under arrest, he made a sudden failed attempt to flee on foot, and they quickly apprehended him.
He was going to run away because he had an illegal snake or something?
We had a lot more than that.
Oh.
A deeper search of his vehicle revealed more surprises. Nestled alongside the snake were significant quantities of fentanyl and marijuana and a hefty stack of cash.
I thought maybe he was just trying to avoid some kind of reptile-related crime.
No, they didn't charge him with anything there.
That would be embarrassing, Josh.
Sure would. A 3-year-old girl might need an emotional support animal of her own after getting scratched inside a central Indiana Walmart by a monkey wearing a diaper with a leash around its waist.
Oh, cool.
I know. I'll never see that at my Walmart, but these folks got it.
Well, they call it the People Zoo.
The Walmart is called the People Zoo?
Sometimes they call it the People Zoo, and in this case, it was more of a zoo.
Where was this where a lady had a monkey wearing a mini skirt or whatever?
Central Indiana.
Yeah.
There was a monkey wearing a diaper with a leash around its waist, which reminds me of how Ashley dressed her boyfriend for that wild weekend in Turtle Lake.
Bring that monkey to my Walmart now, because that sounds like a good time.
Bedford Police Chief Terry Moore confirmed the girl was scratched by a 16-year-old macaw on Wednesday. The girl's mom later shared the monkey's owner had paperwork for an emotional support animal, but it was actually registered for a dog, not a leashed, diaper-clad monkey. The mother said the mischievous monkey made a mark on her daughter unprovoked.
Does she got to have all kinds of shots and whatnot? Or?
They didn't mention anything about that. So
I didn't think of that.
Some kind of monkey...
This weird monkey disease, yeah.
Monkey COVID.
Well, some of them carry like herpes, don't they? Or chlamydia.
All of them do.
That they got?
That's their ultimate weapon. That's their prime weapon. What'd you say?
The chlamydia?
Chlamydia, yeah.
Polish media shared a story about a driver who thought he might have hit someone, only to find out it was a corpse, which had fallen out of a hearse and landed in the road.
Man, that's gross.
A funeral home there apologized after the body fell out of the hearse and landed in traffic, blaming it on a technical failure with the hearse's lock.
I don't know what to tell you, bud. We're just shooting funerals and showing the ones where the bodies fly out.
In a statement on their website, the company expressed their deep empathy for the families involved in the coffin flop-like incident and reiterated their respect for the deceased.
Well.
That poor everybody involved, really, but also the person that thought they hit and killed someone. Oh, how terrible.
Dead body, I bet they made a weird squishing sound.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Probably left a streak.
Maybe, I think everything was already taken out of them.
Oh.
So maybe a little less streaky.
Just kind of dry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A 50-year-old man from Texas was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison after using a loaner car from a BMW dealership to rob a bank. And then he attempted to buy that same car with the stolen cash. While in the process of purchasing the vehicle, the man made a stop at a bank. He approached the teller with a fast food bag and threatened with a note which read, "This is an effing robbery. Play with me and die." He then flashed what appeared to be a gun, insisting he wanted the money quickly. After the robbery, the man returned to the dealership in the same loaner vehicle. He began waving cash around and proceeded to hand over $3,000 as a down payment to finalize that purchase. However, while he was in the dealership's finance office, an employee received a call about the nearby bank robbery. Upon realizing the car used in the crime matched one they had loaned out, the dealership quickly alerted police. Authorities discovered the gun used in the robbery was actually a painted pellet gun designed to resemble a real firearm.
So he doesn't get that car after all, I bet.
Nah, it's disappointing for him, I'm sure. He planned it all out. It was the perfect crime. Not all criminals are masterminds like that last gentleman. Police in Tennessee say 2 men carjacked a driver but left empty-handed because they couldn't start the vehicle. The victim said the armed suspects opened the driver's side door of his Ford Escape, told him to get out. He ran away, and the suspects fled in a Nissan Altima after failing to start that escape. Minutes before the carjacking, the same men in the gray Altima were caught on camera burglarizing another vehicle parked along the street. Authorities think the driver had the key fob with him when he ran, leaving the thieves unable to flee in the Ford.
Yeah, man, so long, suckers, right? You're out of there.
Yep.
Then the pig won't start.
That's got to be pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, it does.
An Uber driver left his car running while picking up a food order, which turned out badly. because a man got in and drove away uber drunk.
Oh, no.
Police in New York arrested a 45-year-old after he stole the Uber driver's vehicle about 8:55 p.m. that night. The drunk crashed into a curb and a fire hydrant shortly afterwards. He tried to flee on foot into a wooded area, but was too drunk to run and was found quite quickly by a canine officer and arrested.
Too drunk to run.
A 33-year-old Maine man is facing multiple charges after police say he stole 4 vehicles, including a dump truck, in a chase that crossed into New Hampshire several times. Authorities first tried to stop him Thursday morning. They used spike strips to disable a stolen car, and he ran off and stole a truck from a nearby home.
This guy was not too drunk to run.
He was a little drunk.
A little drunk.
But, yeah, right, not that drunk. Later, they saw a different truck speeding through a stop sign at more than 100 miles an hour. It turned out it was him again. The truck crashed into a ditch after police put out another set of spike strips, but he ran off one more time. He was finally arrested while trying to steal a 5th car after parking a stolen dump truck at a gas station. He has since been nominated for the Most Stolen Vehicles in a Single Chase Award.
That's a heck of an achievement.
Yeah, it is pretty nice. Yeah, pretty nice. I wonder what the most stolen vehicles in one chase is. That's got to be up there. It's got to be in contention, I'd imagine.
That's a good question.
The Buccaneers host the Ravens on Monday Night Football, the Chargers host the Cardinals. And on FX, the 6th season premiere of What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, nice.
That sounds kind of scary.
Actually, it's funny,
like it.
right?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Oh.
It does sound scary. It's like a vampire comedy. Am I thinking of the right show?
Yep.
Vampire comedy.
Glenn,
my favorite style.
I'm on it.
Hey, I'm a fan.
I'm on it.
Glenn Powell of Twisters, Top Gun Maverick, and Scream Queens is 36 today. Fauché Maintenance Ninja texted in to say, not saying, just saying Jesus is very behind on the podcast, so he wants to wish him a happy Thanksgiving as he's going to approach that show
Holy cow.
any day here. Congratulations to Terrible Terry Hunter Wilkinshire and his lady Ganat from Weather Warrior Goat Trucking Jesus. They just got engaged. Happy birthday to Dan P., a.k.a. Red Rocket, from your literal bro, Weld a Lil Bit Jesus. On a personal note, happy birthday to my mother-in-law and sister, which, for the record, is 2 different people. I just realized it kind of didn't sound that way.
No, it didn't.
Your mother-in-law and your sister are both celebrating a birthday today?
Yeah, different ages. But, yeah, both of them have a birthday.
Well, F me running.
And we had a planned concert announcement to make before we got out of here this morning, but I got pushed back until 10 a.m. So listen at 10 a.m. for our big announcement. And that's 93X News.
Coming up next, we'll talk with Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder.
Randy Shaver
is a big humper, literally humping everyone. He is social, but he's more concerned about humping everybody.
on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
The Guardians are down to their last strike here. Here's the 1-2. Thomas, fly ball right field. Who else should end this game than that man right there? Juan Soto puts it away, and the New York Yankees have won the American League pennant.
There's a bouncing ball to second. Taylor's got it. Los Angeles is alive, and they're headed to the World Series. Dodgers, Yankees in the Fall Classic.
Yeah, the godforsaken New York Yankees will be playing in the World Series again, going for their first title since 2009, and the Los Angeles Dodgers will be their opponent. Major League Baseball's ultimate wet dream has come true. Right, Randy Shaver and Brad Effin Ryder?
Unfortunately so.
Yes.
Yeah, over the weekend, the Yankees eliminated Cleveland. Last night, the Dodgers gassed the New York Mets for good. So LA's back in the series for the first time since 20+20. They won it all that season. It's their 4th NL pennant in the last 8 years, but the Dodgers and Yankees haven't met in the series since 1981. And back in that time period, as you boys will remember, those two clubs met 3 times in 5 years, back in the late 1970s into the early 80s, with characters like Reggie Jackson and Billy Martin and Tommy Lasorda and Fernando Valenzuela and all the way down the line. The World Series begins Friday night in California.
Not till Friday.
Friday night? Why,
Yep.
why is it taking so long?
TV and runs everything.
I think maybe Gary Bettman has a piece of Major League Baseball now. He's going to push it a little further down the schedule.
That just seems
Manfred Johnson.
Down the calendar.
Kind of
Gary
ridiculous.
Bettman, he says, no. String it out.
Are they trying not to interfere with the NBA and openings?
Yep,
NBA?
you got it. They're trying not to interfere with. They don't want Game 1 on the same night as Thursday Night Football. They don't want Game 1 on the same night as the NBA opening night. So they pick Friday night, where there might be 1 or 2 college games on, but they can kind of have the stage for themselves.
They're
Friday
all
night.
so chicken nowadays, you know what I mean? Oh, no, we can't go against basketball. Oh, no, there's a hockey game that night. Oh, no, there's Thursday Night Football. Let's keep putting, it's all, the money and the attention and the. So what do you think? There you go. I know it's not the series we were hoping for, is it?
Not even close. No.
No matter who wins, the fans deserve it.
I mean,
these porn star fan bases.
If the league championship series would have gone to 7 games, that would have been strung out to about Tuesday or Wednesday. So that's another reason why they choose Friday.
I have fond memories of those series from the 70s and into the early 80s. That was when. Well, number one, I was a young kid, but that was when I was like, ooh, wow, because the Dodgers and Yankees had such great players. And nowadays, most of the players on both clubs make my stomach sick. So, it's a different vibe.
Also, it's back in the day when one league had the DH, the other league did not.
Right.
They didn't play each other. There was no crossover between American and National. And so if you were an American League fan, you probably didn't pay too much attention to what was going on in the National League. So
many things have changed.
Yeah, that team would be fresh and different, and that's not the case anymore.
Lots has changed since the late 70s. And when you looked at the Yankees and the Dodgers back in those days, you didn't look at their rosters and say, oh, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 big-time free agents who signed, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Nick, that's a great fact.
Yeah.
There wasn't the free agency money being thrown around like there is today.
Right.
And so there was there was quite a bit of parity in baseball for the most part. So, it's just a different.
And a lot of those games were actually played in the afternoon during the day.
Yes, they were.
So if we want to talk more about the series, we'll talk about it Friday. Again, none of us are really falling down and touching ourselves over this setup with L.A. and New York, but it is what it is. How about a random World Series fact to take your mind off the garbage matchup we have for this year's World Series? A random World Series fact, Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder. Only 2 people have ever played in the World Series and a college basketball Final Four. Maybe you've heard this before. Maybe you haven't. Now, one of them you've likely never heard of. The other you certainly have. Only 2 guys have ever played in the World Series and a college basketball Final Four. Yes, Randy.
Can I make a guess?
Of course.
Danny Ainge?
Good guess.
I think I can guess one. I can't.
Good guess.
I got one guess, I guess, is what I'm saying.
You have one guess. Go right ahead, Brad Ryder.
How about, and I think I remember this one, he played in the World Series, hearing this, Kenny Lofton.
Nice.
Good one.
Well done, Brad.
Now, Danny,
I don't have any idea who the other one is.
Well, no one's ever heard of the other guy, as far as I know. Danny Ainge, okay. I can't remember where he played college basketball.
I think BYU.
Okay.
Does that ring a bell? I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go along with it. Did he also play baseball? I don't think I'd ever heard that.
Oh, yeah. He played for Toronto.
Yeah.
But I don't think Toronto ever made the World Series.
Yeah.
No.
You were right, Randy, BYU.
Yep.
Why can't I don't know if maybe I just straight up forgot that. Danny Ainge had some time in the big leagues?
Absolutely. He played for more than one season. I want to say 3 or 4 seasons.
Played from 79 to 81.
Yeah.
Okay. Kenny Lofton is correct. Kenny Lofton went to the Final Four in college basketball for the University of Arizona.
I was just going to say that.
And then played in the World Series with the Cleveland Indians. The other was a cat named Tim Stoddard.
Yeah, I've heard of him. Pitcher.
Went to the Final Four with North Carolina State. Okay.
Yeah.
Was that the Jim Valvano 1983 team?
No, that was well before.
Okay.
Tim Stoddard was back in he pitched in the early 80s, didn't he?
Okay. I don't recognize the guy's name.
Or late 70s. He pitched for Baltimore, I believe.
I want to say Baltimore, yeah.
Well, then it maybe was the 83 season that he made the series with the Baltimore Orioles. Had to have been. That's the last time the Baltimore Orioles made the World Series. 83?
Yeah, I would have said maybe late 70s when they played the Pirates. Maybe
that could be too. That could be too. All right, there you go. Kenny Lofton and Tim Stoddard. And another side piece of information, current New York Yankees manager Aaron Boone and I went to different schools together. So I found out last night that WNBA officials are just as bad as NBA officials.
If you watch 10 minutes of any WNBA game for the last 25 years, you've known that.
Oh, I haven't watched that.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So you were already well aware of the fact that they're just as bad as NBA officials.
They're worse.
There's nothing worse than NBA officials. Don't play with me, Brad Ryder. We all know there's nothing worse than NBA officials. The Lynx were completely screwed by the refs late in last night's deciding game of the WNBA finals. Now, this is the first Lynx game I've watched all year long. The refs gifted overtime to the New York Liberties with a couple of awful foul calls. And then in overtime, New York squeaked past the Lynx, who were effing exhausted. I think if you watched last night's overtime, you could tell the Lynx legs were gone.
I know all the headlines will be Reeve cries foul. Bring it on, right? Bring it on, because the shit was stolen from us. Bring it on.
Dude, I like that. That's the head coach, Cheryl Reeve. That was stolen from us by the officials, she said. That's beautiful. I like the way she does. She's not afraid to say what's up.
Yeah. I mean, there's no doubt that the referee situation was not very good in the game, but the Lynx also turned the ball over 5 times in overtime.
Yeah, they were cooked.
Williams had a terrible shooting night. Did not help their team. There were a lot of factors in this game last night. And again, I'm not trying to take away from the referee calls late in regulation, that they were bad.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
Oh.
But the Lynx did not play, certainly in the overtime, did not play their best game.
No. Like I said, they were exhausted. But there shouldn't have been an overtime.
That was not a very visually appealing basketball game to watch. I'll put it that way.
I had a great time with it. I really.
Oh, my God. It was not a good game.
But it was my first time watching all year long. It was the 5th and deciding game. I had a good time.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just saying it was not a very well-played basketball game on either side.
All right, well, that's all right by me. So instead of the Lynx winning their 5th title, the Liberties won their 1st, and it was really annoying. Because then they showed all the famous New Yorkers in the crowd. Yeah. Aren't you feeling good for Fat Joe? It's been 28 years of Liberties basketball, and it's there. Oh, look, it's Spike Lee. Oh, look, it's that famous actor who he thinks he's funny. Whatever. You guys like him. He's in that soccer show or whatever.
Jason Sudeikis?
I think that's it.
Yeah.
He was sitting there with his brand new Liberties gear on, and we're all
Ted Lasso's fantastic.
We're all supposed to feel good for these rich New York celebrities. Kiss my ass. They're calling it, though, an all-time classic. Brad Ryder doesn't agree, but they're calling it an all-time classic.
Well, when you think about the 2 comebacks by both teams in this series when they were down 15 points, that first game where the Lynx looked like they were cooked and done and made the incredible comeback to win in overtime. And then, of course, when the Liberty did kind of the same thing to the Lynx, down 15 and rallied to win. So, yeah, there were a lot of really good. There was a lot of really good basketball in the context of the series, but this last game was not.
Friggin' refs.
And if this happens next year, we'd still have 2 more games. They're going to 7-game series next year.
Oh,
in the NBA Finals.
Nice. All right.
Maybe that can help make up for the $40 million the league lost this year.
That's crazy.
What are you talking about?
the WNBA lost $40 million this year, and I
thought they were more popular than they've ever been.
They are, but they lost $40 million this year, and I can't figure it. Nobody can figure out how.
How is that possible? They sold out arenas.
Look it up. It was an article in Sports Business Journal last week. They lost $40 million this year. And again, you're asking the same question that I am. How does a league that gets Caitlin Clark handed to him on a silver platter lose $40 million?
There was quite a few articles written over the weekend on it, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
it's pretty surprising.
There was?
Yeah.
Really?
Thanks for taking a huge dooce all over the end of the WNBA season, Brad Ryder. We were all feeling good about it.
What I'm saying is the actual product on the floor got a lot better this year, and I think people responded to it, obviously, because of Caitlin Clark was a big reason for it. But the league itself...
I'd say Angel Reese, but whatever. You can say whatever you want.
I know this a little bit from internal stuff, but the league itself is not very well run at all.
Well, who's running? Isn't it that bald guy?
No.
Oh.
So, Brad,
what's the bald guy's name again? The commissioner of the NBA?
Adam
Silver.
Oh, he doesn't also run the...
No.
Okay.
No, he doesn't.
So, Brad, what were the reasons given in the article as to why the WNBA lost money?
They're starting to spend more money than they've actually accumulated, even though they're selling out all these arenas. They made moves, like an example is, and I'm not saying these things are wrong, but I think they did them too quickly. Like now all the teams are flying charter, and they didn't used to. Think just little examples like that where they didn't wait until the new TV deal came up and signed that to do those things. So from a business perspective, they are kind of getting out of it in front of things too quickly. And now there's some talk that possibly the players may strike before next year, and it could get ugly.
Boy, I'm glad I don't read the same articles you do. I'm glad I'm oblivious to all these things, because I was actually having a really good time last night, and I thought, aside from the officials, what a great showing. The arena was sold out, and then Brad.
Well, it's better than you think, Brad. I wonder if this article said the same thing I read. They were expecting to lose like $50 million, but they lost $40 million.
They only lost $40 million instead.
So they said it was better than projected, and they also said they don't see it getting a ton better for another few years. It's going to take a while.
Because they're still living under the the terms of their current TV contracts, which are not good.
You got any bad Vikings news for us? I mean, aside from the ball game.
They lost yesterday.
Is anyone on the staff dying or anything?
If the Vikings don't win Thursday, they might be in last place. How's that for?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
No,
yes.
but inside stuff. Are they moving to Mexico City?
Yeah, how are their finances, Brad? Are the Wilfs doing okay?
I think the Wilfs are fine. Yeah.
Yes.
Man, I was ready to, go buy myself a Nafis Collier jersey.
That on you, but I'm telling you, it's not a very well-run league at all, and that has nothing. I want to be clear. That has nothing to do with my opinion of how Cheryl Reeve and the Lynx are. They're obviously outstanding. She did an outstanding job this year. I mean, nobody thought they'd be in the finals, It's just the league itself is not very well run.
If there's any more just awful inside industry news, let her buck, Brad Ryder, because I want to be. I'm just this ignorant, happy guy walking down the street. You know what I mean? And all the while, Brad could be hovering over my shoulder saying, no, it's awful.
I would not have guessed that.
No.
And that's part of the reason why their officiating is historically, biblically bad.
Because they can't pay good officials?
Right.
These are just like dudes and gals that couldn't cut it in D3 or something like that?
Right. Yeah.
Well, all right. It was a miserable end to last night's WNBA season. I'll change my outlook. Josh, miserable end of the season.
Well, there's some supposedly they're expecting to lose a lot more, and they did a lot better than they thought. That's a positive.
By the way, Josh, you ever get a text message and you just know for sure someone's messing with you?
Constantly.
All right, but I'm going to read it anyway. A listener says, okay, we talked about there have been 2 players in the history of the world who have played in the World Series and the NCAA Basketball Final Four. They were Tim Stoddard and Kenny Lofton. A listener says, we're wrong. There was another player, another guy who played in the World Series and the NCAA Final Four, and his name was Dick Black. Now, are you playing with us or what? I feel like I'm being messed with.
I think you're being messed with.
All right. The Detroit Lions, they're still a pretty good ball club.
Yes, they are.
And they beat
Yes,
the Vikes in the waning seconds of the game. They beat them by 2 points right there at the new Metrodome. It's the Vikes' first loss of the season.
Yes, sir.
And what did you say, Brad? If they lose on Thursday and everyone else in the division wins, they'll be in last place.
Well, they'd be tied for last place.
Isn't that crazy?
That's so dumb.
I mean, the division it's 5-1, 5-1, 5-2, 4-2. I mean, that's you look around the NFL, and that's just crazy.
If Chicago wins tonight, they're 5-2, and the Vikings would be 5-2, and the Packers would be 6-2, and
I think Chicago's on a bye week.
Yeah, they're not playing tonight.
Oh, okay.
Some other teams are playing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hell, the Vikings, I caught the fourth quarter. They get this fumble return for a touchdown and this and that. But Jared Goff, I never in a million years thought Jared Goff, is that his first name, Jared?
Yes.
Yep.
That he would be that dagger in the heart, comeback, John Elway, Brent Favre type of quarterback, but he did it to him yesterday.
I want to talk about a guy who fell into an incredible situation. That trade, I think most people thought, well, obviously the Rams got the better of the trade. They win a Super Bowl because of Matt Stafford and all that, and everybody forgot about Jared Goff. I think at the end of this, the run between Goff and Stafford, that Goff is going to get the last laugh because he has just been playing great, surrounded by so much talent. Detroit's done a really nice job.
What do you think of
their team together?
Yeah, okay, so yesterday Sam Darnold threw for a few yards. He had a 1 touchdown pass, 1 interception. What do you think of his performance? He's doing all right still, everybody?
I think he's doing okay,
all right.
but it's not they're not lighting it up like they were before, but they're playing well enough to win games for sure.
There you go.
I think their defense is still very good, even though they gave up 31 yesterday. Yeah, I mean, they fought back. They were down 21. They were down 11 points twice in that game and came back both times. So, long way to go. No question, long way to go. But this division is just brutal. I mean, if you don't win the division, you'll likely get in as a wild card, and you may be 4th in the division and still have a chance to make the wild card.
Check this out. So, this is the Lions' 4th straight win over the Vikings. This is their 4th straight win over the Vikings. That's the longest streak for the Lions in this series.
Never happened. Yeah.
The longest streak for the Lions since 1961 through 1963.
Yeah.
Was the last time the Lions won 4 in a row over your Vikings. So that Jones kid, he was okay. He ran around the field a little bit, right?
Yeah, he did. He played well.
He looked good. Yeah.
Jefferson, okay, he had a receiving touchdown.
Yep.
The kicker, little Willie. What's his name again? Willie?
Will Reichert.
Willie Reichert.
He's awesome.
57-yarder.
He's really good.
But the second quarter is when the Lions kind of took over. They had 3 scoring drives that all covered at least 69 yards.
Yep.
Next up, as we were talking about, the Vikes have to play Thursday night at the Los Angeles Rams.
They're ramming it.
Yesterday's results otherwise in the National Football League. Let's see what grabbed me or anybody else involved. Okay, Cleveland lost to Cincinnati, and what's his name? Deshaun Watson.
Could be done.
It looks like he snapped his Achilles tendon.
Yeah. He's got a Kirk Cousins.
And they're saying he's for sure done for the season. And, the Cleveland Browns aren't going to want him back.
Yeah, this allows the Browns to move on. This injury allows them to cut the cord and be done.
Well, but they still have to pay him hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yes. But I'm saying on the field, they can move on.
Now, replacing Watson yesterday after his Achilles pop was a fella named Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
That's not a real name.
It is. Where's Jameis Winston Thompson-Robinson?
I don't know.
They said he was inactive, so I hope we get to see more Jameis Winston. Maybe he just had a little injury. He couldn't hang around yesterday. I like. We covered this last week. I like Jameis Winston. So it's funny because just last week we were talking about, oh my God, the Browns. They can't let go of this Watson guy because of the bosses spent all that money. They're not going to pull him off the field. He's going to have to keep playing and badly for the Browns. Now he hurts himself.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, this gives them the out now to move on the field without him. And I think that's probably what's going to happen.
Philadelphia. Yes, Randy. You have one more thought on that?
I mean, they're 1-6. They're the worst team I don't know too many people that would have predicted that the Browns and the Panthers would have the same record 7 weeks into the NFL season.
Philadelphia Eagles beat the New York Giants 28-3. Giants quarterback Daniel Jones was benched. And then all the 8th graders and NFL nutjob social media dorks attacked him like the cowards that they are. Oh, God. Benched. And he was replaced by someone called Drew Lock.
Played for Denver.
Yep.
The Commodores keep whooping everybody's ass.
Is Jaden Daniels going to be okay? I saw he went out.
He got hurt. He had a rib injury and didn't finish the game. I don't know. I haven't seen anything this morning on his status, but
okay.
It doesn't sound. It says it's he's going to undergo some more tests, but what that means, I don't know.
Karen lost again. Tonight there's a couple of ball games. Tonight, the Baltimore Ravens at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the L.A. Chargers at the Arizona Cardinal. I get to see my guy, Kalen Rossberger. Kyler Murray right around the field. I like that.
Kalen Rossberger.
I'm looking forward to that. I like watching that guy play. Yeah. Randy Shaver, last Friday you recommended we make some bets. And
I was wondering if somebody was going to bring that up.
Okay.
How did Nebraska go?
God.
I didn't.
I cannot
that one by a little bit.
Hey, two things about that. I can't believe Indiana's that good. I can't believe Nebraska was that bad.
All right.
Indiana is for real.
I did not look and see what happened with the NFL parlay that you set up for us, and it was just a recommendation. You know, you didn't force anyone to make these bets, although I did.
Sorry.
The Indiana thing is notable. Yes. One of the bets Randy recommended we make, he said, "Look, Indiana's not that friggin' good. Nebraska's playing."
I said, I'm not sure they're for real, is what I said.
Well, I was close enough with my statement, I think. Yeah. So you said bet on Nebraska with the points. With the points given, it was, I don't know, 6.5 or 7.
You could have taken 50 and it still would have been.
Yes. And so I'm looking around the television on Saturday. I better check out that Nebraska game. And Indiana beat them 56-7.
That's just unbelievable.
The others, you were right about Oregon. I mean, we don't need to get into it, but that Indiana Nebraska won. That was an adventure.
Iowa State won, but they didn't cover. Which is too bad, but yeah, they won the game. So
if you look at Indiana's, I was just looking at Indiana's upcoming schedule. They've got a really, really good chance to be undefeated going into that Ohio State game in late November. That would be something.
And Ohio State is good, but they're beatable for sure.
Yeah. All right, the University of Indiana Hoosiers Football Club moved to 7-0. With that win over Nebraska. That's the first time in over 50 years that school's football club has been 7-0.
I couldn't even tell you who the head coach is. Who's the head coach at Indiana?
Harbaugh.
It's a new guy. No,
it's not Harbaugh.
Sean Payton.
It's not.
No, not him either. But yeah,
Bobby Knight.
New guy, and they score points. I mean, I was looking. They've scored over 40 points in every game but one this year.
Josh says it's Indiana you're talking about? Josh says it's Roy Munson.
It is. They got Munson.
Oh, man.
So, the Indiana Hoosiers have never won 10 games in a football season, dating all the way back to 1899. Wow. They're at 7-0. They haven't been 10-0 ever. And they started playing football over there in 1899. This kind of reminds me when the Golden Gophers went bananas a few years ago.
Yes, went to the New Year's Day game. Yeah.
And also, the word is, so that home game last Saturday where they stomped Nebraska, the fans drank the ballpark dry a beer.
I love when that happens.
That's the story I heard. Wow. Concession stands were smooth out of beer. Drank the joint dry.
Well, you can see why I thought there was a trend that was certainly breakable, because Indiana's never done this before. Nebraska's supposedly a pretty good football team, and you're giving Nebraska almost a touchdown. Man, the odds makers, first of all, got that number way wrong. But still, I mean, Indiana's for real, I guess. I mean,
people are telling us the head coach of the University of Indiana football team is a cat named Kurt Cignetti.
Never heard of him.
Is that for real? Someone look it up.
Wow.
I believe it's his first or second year there.
He sounds crooked. And who are we supposed to Google here? Everyone's saying Google this, Google that. Cignetti. Okay, I don't know. People are saying Kurt Cignetti, and we need to Google him for some reason. All right, back to quarterbacks. We were talking about Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
One of my favorite.
Watson!
Oh, God, that scared me. One of my favorite all-time quarterbacks, Jay Cutler.
Yes, he's in trouble.
He got himself into some damn trouble a few days. He went to Indiana. He got himself into some damn trouble a few days ago. I'm kidding. I know he didn't go to Indiana. He got pinched for one of those DWIs in Franklin, Tennessee, a place called Franklin, Tennessee. Last Thursday afternoon, Cutler allegedly rear-ended the driver in front of him. Okay?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Tommy.
And then, according to the story, he offered that other driver $2,000 American not to call the police.
Uh-oh.
Boy.
And the guy didn't take the bait.
Yeah.
The cop said Cutler had bloodshot eyes. He was slurring his words.
A Thursday afternoon.
I believe that's correct. Thursday afternoon. He told the cops, "No, I ain't had nothing to drink." And then a little while later, he admitted to having, as Robert De Niro would say, a little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit now. Did you have anything to drink? No.
A little bit.
20 minutes later, be honest with us, Jay. Did you have anything to drink? I had a little bit, he said. He refused all the sobriety tests. They drew his blood, which is filled with excellence, of course. The results of the blood test are pending, but he was, what's the word, cited for a DWI. He also had some weapons in his car.
I got to tell my favorite Jay Cutler story. It was a secondhand story somebody told on the internet where...
Oh, yeah, I like this one.
Yeah, he was out at brunch, and was hit the urinal, and the guy comes up and takes the urinal next to him and says, "Hey, Jay, I went to Vanderbilt at the same time." And then Jay just leans his head back and goes, "Don't care."
I love that.
It's so funny.
He was a pimp.
He was.
I don't know why he's got to be involved in this drinking and driving.
Oh, man.
Because I always liked that Cutler. Smoking cigarettes,
Smoking Joe. Or Smoking Jay. Right, Smoking Jay.
I just liked how when they showed him on the bench, he had a facial expression like he was thinking, "Get me the hell out of here."
Oh, he always looked miserable.
God, he hated being an NFL quarterback. He friggin' hated it.
And what was that South Park clip where the kids go up to him and says, "Hey, you're Jay Cutler of the Broncos. My dad says you suck, but you might be good someday."
Oh, yes.
Yeah. $2,000, Josh. Would you have taken that $2,000? He said, "Hey, $2,000 if you don't call the cops."
No, it seems a little shady, doesn't it?
What?
Well, I'm not sure the 2,000 would have covered the dent in the bumper either.
Yeah, I'd wonder about that too.
I would have, tried to work him a little bit. I would have said,
I
"What
would
are
have
you
gave it a shot."
talking about $2,000? You played in the friggin' NFL for 10 years. Give me $1 million. I'm not going to call the police."
Hey, how about 10 and we'll call it even?
Oh, I'm going for $1 million, Brad Ryder.
Start big.
Donate that to the WNBA. Now they're only losing $39 million.
Right, yeah. I ruined your day with that, didn't I?
You did. I was having such a good time. I was so excited, and I really enjoyed watching that game, and I felt good for the Lynx. I'm pissed at the refs. I like that Cheryl Reeve, the coach, for saying, "Hey, we lost because of the refs." There were so many things that totally play into my style last night. And they were like, "Hey, there you go." And Brad Ryder, "Too bad they lost $45 million last year."
That was kind of a downer.
What? You just lowered your drawers and you took a poop on the whole operation is what you did, Brad Ryder. Now, I don't even know if I want to get into this. It's going to piss me off so much, and it's not going to surprise anybody. The Patrick Mahomes, what's his dad's name? Pat Sr.
Pat Sr., yeah.
The Pat Sr. You know, that last D-dub he got.
Yes.
Last football season, he almost didn't get to go watch his son play in the Super Bowl. That whole thing. We've covered this Pat Mahomes Sr. The guy's a derelict. He got off easy, as we all know. TMZ, those folks, they got a hold of the audio from his DWI arrest. And I mean, again, to no one's surprise, boy, does he make sure those cops know who they're dealing with.
My son is getting ready to play in the fucking Super Bowl, okay?
Yes,
no, just listen to me. He can't have this right now.
Who's your son?
Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
And he can't have that right now.
It's cops' fault.
Shut up.
He mentioned it over and over again. Of course, hoping the cops would say, "Oh, wow, are you really Patrick? Well, we'll give you a ride home because you're special."
Right.
I love that these cops just said, not this time,
He's acting
douchebag.
as if it's them doing it to Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
They take no personal responsibility at all.
Well, first off, I don't know how much audio you have over there, Josh, but first off, of course, when he gets pulled over, he's got a can of beer in his center console. And when the cops say, "Look, you're going to have to step out of your car," he says, "Are y'all serious? You got a can of beer in your center console." At one point or another, he said, "I'm supposed to be going to the Super Bowl to watch my son play football, and this is what we're doing," in reference to going through DWI procedures. These kind of people just make me want to friggin' puke.
Yeah, I'm with you. Just no regard for personal responsibility.
No.
The rules are different for them.
Rules are different. And again, he's drunk. He's got a beer in his car. And the police are going through their normal procedures. And he says, "This is crazy." It is?
And he's been there before.
Right.
I mean, it's not the first time.
What is crazy about this scenario right now?
Right.
You are drunk driving a motor vehicle. You have a beer in your car. The police are trying to do their jobs. That's crazy to you? My son is getting ready to play in the effing Super Bowl, and we're doing this, he says. Now, his last move, I think you'll like the most. Then he tried to kind of make the police feel bad for him. When he saw the writing on the wall, "Well, I'm going to jail. Maybe my last move is to try to gain some sympathy from these people." So he says to the cops, "Well, you know, my son, he probably won't win the Super Bowl." But that's fine, he says. If this is what y'all want to do, that's fine. He probably won't even win.
Oh.
But whatever.
Oh,
man.
What is wrong with that man?
A lot.
And he's not alone, of course. There are so many of those. How many times in Josh's news do we have a mayor or something that gets in trouble and they say, "Do you know who you're tangling with right now?" I'm the mayor. What was the job title earlier that we were talking about where someone...
The road commissioner?
Oh, my God. Someone was making pipe bombs in a town somewhere over who was the local road commissioner. Do you know who?
Job.
I am the road commissioner in this town. What is wrong with us?
You don't mess with the road commissioner in my neighborhood.
Heck no.
All right. Sorry I blew up.
That's all right.
Timberwolves start their regular season tomorrow night.
The NBA in general, yes. Everybody.
Oh, right.
But
right.
not everybody. I think there's only 2 games tomorrow.
Okay.
Some tomorrow, some like Wednesday.
I mean, this is...
Quite a few more Wednesday, yeah.
This is kind of cute. I mean, whatever. I mean, just a little something to get you thinking about the Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards said if he wins, and I think we've heard him say this before, if he wins a championship ring in the NBA within the next 4 years, then he's going to go ahead and play in the NFL.
I told my buddies, I said, if I win a ring in the next 3 to 4 years,
You're not going to football.
I'm going to play football.
No, you're not.
I love that. I hope this actually
I just love the confidence he has in every aspect of life.
Yeah, he's great.
Who told him that he was not going to do that?
Justin Jefferson.
On some podcast those two were on together.
Is that when they did the photo shoot together?
Yep, it's a promo for the photo shoot.
Yeah.
I would never doubt A1 from day one.
No.
I want to see him playing for the Commodores.
I'd be A1 from day one.
When is that picture coming out?
You think it's soon?
What picture? What are we talking about?
Well, they're recreating the old picture of Kevin Garnett and
Randy
Moss.
Right.
And so this has been kind of a big buildup, right, to actually seeing the picture again.
Okay.
But that has not been released yet.
Sounds like a lot of hype to me, but whatever. Better than Dana at Mario Kart, Jesus is texted in to say, Patrick Mahomes Sr. used to play for the Twins. No wonder he drinks.
God.
Oh, wow. And this is a great text. Josh, sharp as a bowling ball, Jesus. You probably were a fan of the Road Warriors back in the day, weren't you, Josh?
Of course.
Hawk and Animal. Oh, what a rush.
Yeah.
They'd drink the bars dry and beat everyone up in town and then come to the local arena and win tag titles over and over and over again. Sharp as a bowling ball, Jesus says, can you imagine how much more fearsome the Road Warriors would have been if they would have been the Road Commissioners? The amount of power that they would have held in their hands.
That's great. That's great.
Damn right. The Road Commissioners.
That's good.
You could have Mel Gibson. He could play one of them.
Yes. Oh, man.
All right. College football, University of Texas officials had to issue an apology to the University of Georgia and the SEC in general because their fans threw trash on the field while Texas was getting their asses whooped by Georgia on Saturday night. They threw bottles and other debris on the field. Sorry about that, they had to say.
Yeah.
I saw the video. That was kind of fun.
What a tragic thing to happen on Dozen Egg Night.
Mm-hmm. It's incredible to me that there are people out there who don't like college football analyst Booger McFarland. My guy Boogs. I fell in love with the guy years ago when he had the Booger Mobile racing up and down the football field.
People hated the Booger Mobile. That thing was awesome.
You love the Booger Mobile because you're a man of common sense and good taste.
It was awesome.
People hated the Booger Mobile because he scooted back and forth because he had the best seats in the house. That's why they hated the Booger Mobile.
And I think it blocked people's views. That was part of it.
F your stupid view.
Oh, really?
My guy Boogs is where it's at.
But it was kind of hilarious.
How can you not?
$2,000 on a ticket and Boogers right in front of you.
Hey, look, I'm there to see Boogs. I can watch an NFL game anytime. To have Boogs right in front of me for 3-4 hours, that's what I paid my ticket for in the first place. Do you have audio of what he said over the weekend, Josh?
I do.
How do you not like a dude who says things like this, what he said over the weekend?
There's an old saying I learned a long time ago. Stats are like bikinis. They show some things, but not all things. If you look at the stats, Tennessee should be getting blowed out in this game.
Yeah. Should be getting blowed out. Number one, I like that. Stats are like bikinis. They show some things, but not all things. And there are people who don't like Boogs.
Maybe this will change some hearts and minds. That's a great saying. I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
Tennessee should be getting blowed out.
Tennessee should be getting blowed out in this game.
Yeah. Talk to me, Boogs. The Man Bear Pigs improved to 3-0-2 on Saturday with a 3-1 victory over the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Spray Tan Man. And apparently they made some style of NHL history in the process. I don't know if this matters to anybody. The Pigs are only the 5th team in league history to never trail in regulation through the first 5 games of a season. Who's the poor bastard's got to look that up?
Combing through the archives.
Oh, my God.
Well, I'm up to 1973, and I haven't found any yet, but I'll keep going.
That's brutal.
They haven't trailed in regulation at all through the first 5 games of the season. They're only the 5th team ever to do that. They joined this team.
What's the longest streak?
Oh, now I got to go back through the archives again, Randy.
Oh, that poor intern.
Somebody's got to know the answer.
That poor intern.
That's got to be something pretty easy to look up automatically, though.
Longest start of the season without a loss.
Trailing. Without trailing is what.
Without trailing in regulation.
What's the longest
they've not been behind at all.
Dude, that's difficult to look up.
Well, if you know the 5 teams that have gotten through 5
yes,
games
I have them
it,
in front of me.
They have to know then the overall, I guess, leader of that, because there's only 5 teams now.
Right, but do you really want to find this out, Randy Shaver?
I'm just curious. You brought it up. I'm just curious.
This is why Boogs has his job and you had yours.
Oh my God.
Boogs would never bring this up.
Oh my God.
Because it's too difficult. The Boogs wouldn't do this.
You know what? This is like bikinis. I don't want to know what's underneath.
Yeah.
You don't want to know. Okay.
I don't want to know.
We all need to have Pigs goalie Marc-Andre Fleury to come to our Halloween parties this year.
Yes.
Has everyone seen Mark the Animal Andre Fleury's Halloween costume that he wore to the team party this year?
Yeah.
If you haven't, it's up on 93X.
That's a perfect place for it, Smashley. We appreciate that. Fleury's wife put a photo up on Instagram. He showed up to the team Halloween party dressed as friggin' McLovin from Superbad, and it's beautiful.
It's perfect.
It's beautiful. He even had the McLovin State of Hawaii identification on his vest to make sure people knew who he was. He nailed that sumbitch.
That's the thing about him, right? He goes all in on this kind of thing. Pranks.
The pranks. I love the prank
pranks,
stories.
the outfits, anything he does like that, he goes all in.
Great sense of humor.
During the preseason, didn't he go out as part of like the shovel snow removal crew on the ice?
Oh, yes, you're right. I heard about that.
Didn't I see that too?
The guy has a good time.
Well, it's his last go-around, man. He's going to enjoy every minute of it.
Yeah, you know that feeling.
Yes, I do.
You didn't enjoy every minute of it, though.
No, I did not, but...
No, you were miserable by the end. But that's really funny. Folks should see that
It is,
picture up on our... It's the best Halloween costume I've seen since Cubby showed up at my party dressed as Adolphus Rowulfus from the... Legolas from the don't tell me, the Lord of the Rings. There you go. What do you call yourself again? Marc-Andre Fleury, nice work. Pigs play tomorrow night in Florida. A lot of shysters in Florida. Before we go, I think this is our first crack at Pigs tickets for the hockey season. State of hockey and all that, right? You guys dialed in? Are you dialed into that mindset? State of hockey?
State of hockey.
Go ahead right
Someday
now.
they'll be back home.
Huh?
Someday
they'll be back home.
Yeah.
They're never coming back. Text PUCK, P-U-C-K, to 651-989-9393. That's our Luther Bloomington Kia text line. And that'll give you a chance to win tickets to see the boys take on the Tampa Bay Lightning Tuesday, November 1st at the XL Energy Center. Tickets are available now. For more information, you can check out 93x.com. That prize is courtesy of the freaking Pigs themselves. They love us. They love us here at the Half-Assed Morning Show, don't they, John?
I hope so. I think we've had a good relationship over the years.
Good luck with that. Again, the word is PUCK, and the number is 651-989-9393. I'll be going to the X tomorrow. Not for hockey.
Iron Maiden.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Big day.
I'll be going to celebrate the legacy of the Beast. Iron Maiden in concert. We can talk about that more tomorrow. Oh, Golden Gopher hockey swept UMD over the weekend. I think that's the first time we've talked about Golden Gopher hockey this fall.
It is, huh?
I can dig that vibe. I can dig it. Golden Gopher hockey. Get some. That's football. We can't do get. How about get some, eh?
And they played UMD, you said?
Yeah.
I mean, how far have we come that series gets 0 pub?
Yeah.
When it used to be the most important matchup in the wintertime.
When I was 20 years old, we used to go up to Duluth to the old deck to watch the Golden Gophers and the Bulldogs, and I would enter the arena. I never even put on a shirt.
Yeah.
I'd walk into the venue without a shirt, and they didn't care.
It used to be the matchup in the wintertime.
Didn't wear a shirt, and we had cans of warm beer and a backpack. They never said Dick Tracy to us at the old
Doug Woog and Mike Sturdich used to get in arguments between periods between the locker rooms, and then the next intermission between the second and third period, they'd be out smoking a cigarette together.
They knew how to leave it on the ice, didn't they, Brad Ryder?
Yeah.
They left it all. They let it all hang out on the ice, and then afterwards, let's get some Steve Weisers and head on over to the what the hell's the name of the joint again? The with the topless girls there. The Saratoga.
I'm not sure they went there, but
you can't prove that.
You never sat between Surdich and Wooger over there at Club Saratoga?
Not there, but I did other places.
All right. Brad doesn't like to tell us too many secrets, you know.
Right.
Gotta be careful.
He knows all the inside information on the finances of the WNBA, but he won't tell us one story about Club Saratoga with the Wooger and Surdich.
Even though both of them are gone now.
Yes.
And there's nobody that could refute the story. Brad has decided not to do that.
Protecting my own innocence here.
You're a good man, Brad Ryder. You're a good friend, is what he is. He's a good friend.
Yes.
He's not going to sell you out, even if you're 6 feet under. He's not going to sell you out. All right, we got to get going there, boys, but thank you.
You bet.
All right.
We'll talk to you very, very soon. We got to take a little break, and we'll be back in a few minutes on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud. They lose control. They do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Our technicians are geared up and ready to make sure your system is running reliably this winter. Regular maintenance from Standard Heating and Air Conditioning helps prevent costlier breakdowns in the future, and we know they always happen at the worst time.
Hey, Ashley here. Get your home ready for winter. Schedule your furnace tune-up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning and save $30. Have a boiler? Save $40 on your boiler tune-up. Visit standardheating.com to book and lock in your savings. Stay cozy, stay ready.
Robinhood's Hood Week is here. 12 days, 3 legendary offers, and unlimited bonus amounts. Earn 3% on IRA transfers with Robinhood Gold, 2% on transfers with at least a $10,000 margin balance, and 1% on brokerage transfers until October 27th. Hood Week ends soon, so visit Robinhood.com/HoodWeek. Investing is risky. Bonus offers subject to terms and conditions. Visit Robinhood.com/HoodWeek for more information. Margin is not suitable for all investors. Robinhood Gold is offered through Robinhood Gold LLC and is a subscription offering services for a fee. Brokerage services offered through Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
I'll tell you what, that wasn't much of a break. I was kind of hoping to kick back and smoke a fat-ass blunt there while we were playing. And here we are back again. Did that seem like a...
Did we play commercials, a song in commercials?
Mm-hmm. Jesus, criminy.
Did we pass out in here? Is there some sort of like carbon monoxide leak?
That's what I'm wondering. Didn't it seem like only like a minute went by and now we're back? I thought we had time to kick back.
You know, I pee for a long time. This is well documented.
You went and took a squeege, didn't you?
All I did was I peed. I came back. How long was I peeing, and should I be concerned?
I don't know what happened.
I'm pruned. There's nothing left. All the hydration has left my body.
We are back. It is what it is. Welcome back to the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. You know, you're a great crowd. You really are. And thanks again to the crowd who came to party with us last weekend at Turtle Lake Casino there in Wisconsin. I still can't I can't get all the Wisconsin washed off of me. And I've been home for 2 days. I scrub and I can't get the Wisco off of me. But we had a good time, a lot of laughs. Like I said earlier, maybe if you behave, we'll invite you to join us again some other time.
That really was great. Thank you so much. Thank you to St. Croix Casino for being awesome hosts. Also, Devani's was there, and I got a text like, let's say, maybe 2-something in the morning, Saturday morning, from my stepson. He's like, you know what? We hung out all night with the Devani's people. I legitimately want to be friends with them after this.
Yep, agreed. They were awesome.
Yeah, but we probably hung out with them for way too long. Hope we didn't annoy them too much.
Oh, were you guys with them too on Saturday?
Yeah. They were a really fun time. Actually, whenever I couldn't find my boyfriend, I knew he was somewhere talking to Rob from Devani's.
They were great.
Whatever they were talking about.
I think I might have creeped them out a little bit with my love for their products, but they were so fun. And I know you guys, like I said, I mean, my kids loved them.
Mm-hmm. Is Chipotle aware of how you feel about Devani's?
Well, they can exist in both. I mean, you have to see, Devani's meant a lot to me as a kid.
Uh-huh.
You know,
and
so
as a young adult,
Chipotle wasn't around at that time.
Yeah, sure. You can love You can spread your love.
Yeah,
Since
you
you
have
brought it
enough
up,
love.
I kind of like to pit them against each other and make them a little jealous.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Keep things fresh.
Works with the ladies. Why wouldn't it work with your favorite?
Sits on baby Jesus. It was really nice meeting her. Did you guys notice she fell asleep a little bit at the broadcast? I think she went for it Thursday night.
I didn't notice.
I saw that.
Oh my
You
God.
saw that too?
Yep.
I was asking her about that. I'm like, I know it's not the most exciting thing, but
Well, it probably
you
was
fell
when,
asleep.
when Shaver was talking.
Probably.
I like that there were two types of people at that broadcast: the ones that were hungover, or the ones that were hungover but just drinking their way through it, and they had more energy than the people that just decided to wait till the afternoon to kick back into gear.
No, it was fun. It really was.
Waffle offered booze to an underage child.
I
didn't try.
Accident.
Wapple was very hammered all day Saturday.
And
Friday.
you were such a fun drunk, though, that it's like.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Well, except for the fact he tried to get us killed. We're at this little bar.
Oh, yeah.
And I walked in to meet you guys, and all of a sudden I hear the band The Used and then My Chemical Romance, and I'm looking around with all these guys with handlebar mustaches, like the toughest looking dude sitting at the bar looking around like, what are we listening to here?
Yep.
And then he asked your daughter what her favorite artist was, and she's like, well, Miley Cyrus. So then he plays Party in the USA.
Well, and I didn't know you were controlling the music. I just thought, this is a really strange thing for this bar. It did not look like the type of bar that would even have that in it. And yet Wapple was sitting there with touch tunes, playing all these songs, trying to get us killed.
You know,
it was so awkward because there was no music at all. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, all right, I'm going to take care of this. And went right on touch tunes and started asking everyone their favorite song.
Yeah, you did.
Good crowd out there. Appreciate all your love and getting involved in our little road trip.
I had him play me some Survivor. He asked. He was taking requests.
Okay. Nothing wrong with some
maybe you'd appreciate that.
late 80s stuff. Josh, let me ask you a question. Are you a people pleaser?
I am, unfortunately. Well, I shouldn't say unfortunately. Sometimes it gets in my own way. Sometimes I
Talk to me
try
about
too
this. Talk to me about you. What do you do that gets in your own way when you try to please people?
Well, I think what happens is, actually, Dana and I were just talking about this yesterday.
48% of Americans, by the way, admit that they're people pleasers.
Sometimes I try so hard to put somebody in a better mood or make them happy, or it would affect, even if I have nothing to do with the situation, it would affect me if they had something negative to think about me.
Yeah.
That I worry so much about it, and I let it kind of destroy me at times. And there's people, you're never going to make them happy, no matter what you do. Yet I continue to try.
I guess when I read this, I wasn't exactly familiar with what the traits are of a people pleaser or what it really exactly means, and we've got some more information here. But you're saying you go out of your way to, and I've noticed this, of course, I've known you for 3 decades now. You do try to make people feel good at all costs. Whether they
even
be,
if I'm making a sacrifice, I just wish I wasn't making. Yeah.
Even if they're strangers, all the way up to people you've known for years, and you say it destroys you in the end. Do you mean
it can take a toll, especially when it's like
you mean because they don't reciprocate that same effort towards you?
No, not necessarily that. Just that it can be exhausting. Like there's nothing I can do to make this person happy.
Okay, sure. No, I understand that.
You think about it a lot. You think, okay, maybe this will work.
Sometimes you have to just realize there are people out there who cannot be helped.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily your responsibility to help them, but you feel you want to try it.
I understand now. I fully understand. I've seen that play out with you. I've seen you try and try and try to make someone happy or please them in one way or the other.
You've said before I give too many chances.
You do.
I definitely do.
You do.
Yeah.
People pleasers, damn near half of us say that we are. Women are more likely, men a little less likely, but it's not a grand difference. So, if you're not sure if you're a people pleaser or not, and I don't really know if I am, let's see how many of these categories you fall into. So Cubby says
You're
certainly
a lady
is.
pleaser, that's for sure.
A lady pleaser.
Heck yeah.
I used to be. Do you often go to great lengths to avoid conflict? That's a sign of a people pleaser?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Josh, would you say that you go to great lengths to avoid conflict? Maybe it depends on the person?
I'm trying to so let's say there's something bothering me, I'll bring it up politely, just so I don't hold on to anything.
Yeah,
I like to make things just go, like just to get it over with and then move on. So I don't know, does that count? I mean, I'd rather not have to do it, but I'd much rather just tell the person, hey, this is affecting me this certain way, and then try and move on.
So when I think of this, because I definitely think I'm a people pleaser, and so I think a good example would be like I have had two friends be in an argument like in front of me, and I'm the person that's like, I don't need to be involved, I don't need to be anywhere near this, but I want everybody to be happy. And like, what if somehow they're gonna be mad at me for not making it better for them in this situation? So I'll I'll go out of my way to be like, no, they didn't mean it like that. And they're like, no, I absolutely meant it like that. And I'm like, okay, you'll
inject yourself into the argument to try to smooth things over.
Yeah.
See, when my friends get into an argument, I just hope I got a good seat, because I love that stuff.
Oh, I hate watching people fight.
Do you put other people's needs ahead of your own? Okay, I think we already covered that. Josh, you put other people's needs ahead of your own. Yes, I've seen it happen. I have. Do you feel like you can't say no when someone asks for a favor?
Well, okay, this is interesting because unless I have a real good reason to say no, like maybe there's times I just don't want to do something, but if I don't have a real reason, I'll say yes to it.
Well, here's an example of how you can't say no when someone asks for a favor, and I busted your balls up and down about this a month ago or so, 2-3 months ago. Where here you are closing in on 50 years old and you're helping your stepdaughter move and she's 21 years old.
Well, I want to do that, though.
No.
Trust me, I don't want to carrying stuff up the 4 flights of stairs.
What do you mean you want
that part's miserable? Well, I like to help out or be helpful in some way, shows that I've got some value here or there.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
But yeah, as far as like that goes, if I don't have a real reason, like I wouldn't be comfortable. I wish I could be comfortable with this, but I wouldn't be comfortable saying, I just, there's some other things I'd rather do.
Well, no, but what you should say is you're on your own.
Oh, in that particular case?
Yes, we need help moving. And you say, I'm not a kid anymore. You are. Make some phone calls. All right. Do you feel responsible for other people's feelings? I don't exactly know what that means. Do you feel responsible for other people's feelings?
Yeah, like you're the reason they feel bad. Heck yeah.
All right. I maybe I'm wired funny and I can't quite understand. So, someone has to explain that again. I don't know what that.
I guess if I said something weird, or if I said something that I didn't think was the most positive thing in the world, and they seem like they're down on themselves later, even later in the week. I'm like, I wonder if that was because of me. Is that my fault?
Oh, okay.
Or sometimes I'll even it'll be the smallest thing that I say to somebody, and I'll think about it a million times over and over again. And
Are you also Catholic?
No, I just have a lot of. I think I'm an anxious person. I'm a very anxious person, and I'll think I bet I offended them. I bet they hate me. They're thinking bad about themselves because of this.
All right.
Is it kind of
that's a pretty good explanation. Yeah, okay, I think I get it.
Is it kind of like if you go a little overboard telling the Devani's guy how much you love him and you're closely watching his facial expression change and his fiance look at you like, okay, do you want to take my fiance back to a hotel room or what's going on?
Yeah.
Is it like that?
It's like that.
And then you think about it all weekend long.
You're like, I weirded him out.
And then you kind of want to ask your kids, did he say anything about that, but you're afraid to say something because it might seem a little silly if you bring that up?
He didn't say anything to us.
Is it like that?
We are talking about the traits of a people pleaser and trying to wrap our heads around this and that. This next trait of a people pleaser is that you struggle. Josh, do you struggle to establish boundaries?
I don't think so. I mean, what do you think?
Again, I don't really exactly know what that means. Do you struggle to establish boundaries? I just don't. I don't speak this language.
Like being taken advantage of, or something like that, maybe, or.
Okay, you guys are doing a great job of helping me understand.
I don't understand it either.
Well, no, it's not easy.
Like, hey, you can't. I'm not gonna. There's certain things that, certain ways you can't act around me, or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, here's what entered my mind when I read the line, do you struggle to establish boundaries? And this might not have anything to do with that statement. Again, I'm struggling with this because I just don't often think or talk about things like this. What entered my mind, specifically directed to you, Josh, do you struggle to establish boundaries? Here's something, I don't criticize you about a lot of things, but one thing that I have criticized you over is that you make friends too quickly. Does that fall into line with establishing boundaries? Because you fall in love with people.
Yep.
And you are just, for 3 months, this guy or girl is just everything they say. I'm so glad I met you. And then 3 months later, you're like, oh, my God, I need this bastard out of my life.
Mistakes were made.
So I don't know if that falls under the category of boundaries. You quickly bring someone in real close because of your heart, and that's just your nature, and then it backfires on you. Like you should have maybe created boundaries with that person that you did not.
So I think, okay, thinking about what you just said, I do bring people in quickly, and I want people to feel welcome, right?
Right.
But I ignore red flags.
Yes.
I'm trying to get better about that.
Yes.
Where there's like, sure, there's that going on, but there's probably a good reason behind it or whatever. So I don't take red flags very seriously until there's so many that I'm tied up in a basement somewhere.
I think that loosely, might play. Do you agree with people even when you don't really agree, just to please them?
Well, you know what? We were talking about this last week. I don't feel I need a win in an argument, so I'll just let them say whatever they want to say, and I won't. Like, sure, I could disagree, or maybe I do disagree with what they say, but I don't really care enough to argue about it. Like, and I just think it's so hard to change people's minds anyways.
Right.
Impossible.
Like, it's kind of like, well, what's the point? Like, we'll just move on and hopefully have a better time without arguing.
Now, again, something that entered my mind when I just read this last trait of a people pleaser. Do you agree with people even when you don't really agree? What comes to mind for me, and I apologize if this doesn't apply, but it made me think of a former coworker of ours, Josh, who would adapt her personality depending on what crowd she was with. Oh. You know who I'm talking about already?
I mean, sometimes like almost a different person.
Again, I don't know if that really falls under the category of agreeing with people even when you don't really agree, but it was fascinating to watch this person. She would approach this crowd, and if she knew ahead of time, this crowd is a bunch of moms with babies, she'd say, tell me about breastfeeding and how is little Donnie? And is kindergarten difficult? Then she'd move to another part of the room where there were some drug addicts, and she'd say, God, I can't get enough heroin, right? And then she'd go to another group of people. They were into self-mutilation, and she'd say, hand me a knife. I want to carve something into my forearm. It was just this constant act. That's what came to mind for me, because she wanted to please all these people and make sure she fit in with these people, that kind of a thing.
Did you notice, too, that she started some really bad habits just to fit in?
Oh, I don't know. No, tell me about this.
Did she become a smoker or something?
That's one of them.
Really?
Yeah.
She started smoking cigarettes just to fit in with the
I didn't want to get too specific. Yes, that was one of them. Yes,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there was a place she worked at. This is before we knew her, but she had mentioned that she started smoking because she worked at a place, and that was kind of like people went out and bonded. And so instead of just kind of hanging out with people, she, maybe that's a common smoker story. I don't know. Maybe that's kind of how a lot of people start.
It's an interesting brand of lung cancer you got there.
Yeah, and that was kind of a minor one. She did some other things that just seemed so not her, but it was to, like you said, kind of fit in with the crowd.
So there you go. People pleasers. What's the last note here? 1 in 4 Americans who think they're seen as people pleasers, they wish they weren't seen that way. I don't know. Why wouldn't you want to be seen that way? People pleasers sound like very easy people to be around.
I don't know. Probably because it makes you seem like kind of fake in a way. Like you're putting on a facade just to make other people happy.
I think so. I like getting crap and stuff. It's never bothered me. Maybe just because I've been abused by my verbally abused by my family my whole life in a ribbing way. That was just kind of how you showed affection, right? So things like if there's a bunch of people drinking and I just don't drink, no real reason. I don't know. I just never really got into it. I get a lot of crap for that. We talked earlier. For whatever reason, Because I didn't order cheese on a sandwich when we were in Wisconsin, I got all levels of crap from everybody there. It was really weird.
That was fun.
So that stuff doesn't really bother me. So I don't think I'd be someone who got into an activity that I don't want to do just to please other people. You know, I'm fine. Like, you guys do your thing.
Right.
I'm not going to step on any toes. It's just not for me.
By the way, speaking of, Cubby don't drink and he don't smoke. What do you do? Don't drink, don't smoke. What do you do? Subtle innuendos follow. Must be something inside. What's our number here?
651.
651-989-9393, if you can name the artist behind that song. 651-989-9393.
I don't think I've ever heard it.
Don't drink, don't smoke. What do you do? Don't drink, don't smoke. What do you do? Subtle innuendos follow. Must be something to do.
What? I looked it up. Should I wait until somebody texts in?
No, because I know.
I don't know lyrics, but I know that song.
It could always be worse. Jesus was right. Adam Ant. I love our friggin' crowd.
The way you sang it, I was picturing something out of like the 1950s.
God, this crowd is, it is a very 50s sounding song, and maybe he covered it, but he made it popular. Yeah, goody two-shoes. I love our audience more and more every day. That no one really should be able to answer that question, and right now my text machine is exploding with Adam Ant.
Yeah.
I dig you people so much. Awesome. Back to Cubby's drinking. He doesn't drink. We mentioned earlier that at the Turtle Lake Showdown, here comes Jesse James Dupree, lead singer of Jackal. He played a show Friday night, had a great time seeing Jesse. I can't say enough good things about the man.
Oh, he was awesome.
He brought his own personal brand of hooch to the party, and he made us all take a shot. And I always say that when Josh drinks, I can tell immediately because his right eyelid goes,
yeah, my face droops. One side of my face will get exhausted.
It starts with your right eyelid. The sumbitch suddenly is 6,000 pounds and your face can't hold it anymore, right? 5 minutes after you had that one shot of hooch, your right eyelid was destroyed.
Oh, was it really?
Yes, it was.
Oh,
and I could tell from across the room.
I was wondering if I was going to feel it because it's been so long, but I didn't feel it. So really, it did kind of droop.
I could tell it wasn't even a full shot, just a little bit.
Oh, yeah, it was barely a shot.
That's incredible to me, and it's always fun to watch.
Oh, dang, I wish I would have known that.
We got Adam Ant live here in a few minutes on the program. But speaking of music, one more heads up on this. I know last Friday we were going this way and that about a big fat-ass concert announcement coming up this morning. That's still going to happen. But the bosses did not trust us with that responsibility.
We lost their respect over the weekend, I guess.
We must have. Something we said or did. That concert announcement will not be made on this year program, but you can hear it at 10 a.m. And don't friggin' miss it because I hear it's a big one. 10 a.m. is when you'll hear that concert announcement. We got a few minutes more of this and that when we come back on the Half-Assed Morning Show. Man. All right, we got to wrap it up here in a few minutes, the Half-Assed Morning Show. Going to put this Monday program in the history books and start looking forward to Tuesday.
Love me a good Tuesday.
And then Wednesday. And
Tuesday,
then
it's Iron Maiden
tomorrow,
Day.
Iron Maiden in concert.
Yeah, you got to be excited about that.
I'm happy. Yeah, I'm excited for you guys.
Well, Josh isn't going.
No, it's Tuesday night. Are you crazy? You got to work Wednesday.
I'll always make an exception for Iron Maiden.
It's tempting.
I'm going to go, my bro, with the big 4-0. I wish you were going with me.
Yeah, I know.
So we could hold hands again.
I'll regret it. I'm sure.
The first time we saw Iron Maiden together, when they played Fear of the Dark, Josh got a little scared and we held hands.
That's sweet.
And then I asked you a couple times, are you sure they're not singing this about me? How did they find out? The dark is terrifying. It's too dark in here.
Because you have a constant fear that someone's always near.
Well, that's the thing. I'm not scared of the dark. I'm scared of what hides in the dark. Specific.
Oh, my God. All right. Yeah, we are excited for Maiden to come to town tomorrow. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about that on tomorrow's show.
I forget who's opening for them.
Lou, Boo, Stu. The Who?
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
the
H.U.
Who.
Shoot. Yeah,
a friend of mine. You know, a friend of mine who's big into all the same music we're into, Josh, texted me. Jeff, guy I grew up with. He's going to the show tomorrow night, too. I will not be sitting with Jeff, but He said, because he heard our prior conversation about The Who, and I still don't understand how they can be The Who.
Yeah, I don't really understand
but anyway,
how that works out.
Jeff texted in and said he saw The Who in concert, the modern version of The Who, not Pete Townsend and Roger Daltrey. And he said they're really, really good. He's seen them in concert before, so he's looking forward to seeing them tomorrow night. And he said they do a cover of a Metallica song. I think maybe it was Wherever I May Roam. And he said they sing it in Hungarian.
Whoa. Oh, really?
Someone look that up, what song they cover by Metallica.
Sad but true?
Sad but true. I have to go along with it because I don't remember what it said on the text. I can look on my phone if you want to give me a minute. But anyway, he said they sing it in Hungarian, and he said it's a mind F.
Oh, this video is awesome. His boots are on fire. Fast forward.
Come on. I can't follow a word he's saying. I'll have to go ahead and assume that's Hungarian.
That's cool.
Or German or something. I don't know what that was. Is it Does anyone know the real answer?
I don't know what
I have no clue.
So my buddy said
they're Mongolian, right? So I don't know if it's...
Yeah. He ate a psychedelic mushroom the size of a monkey fist, and then they started singing in Hungarian. He said it was a mind F. And he almost found himself running for the exit. So that's the opening act tomorrow before Iron.
Are you going to get there in time?
I don't know.
I'd like to know your review.
I don't know.
On The Who.
I'm not the kind of guy that's going to give a review on The Who.
But you saw Ghost, and you were pleased with Ghost when they opened up for Maiden.
Did I say I was pleased?
You said you were pleased. I mean, you thought it was silly, but we both had a good time.
I didn't get it. I don't get Ghost. I don't. Yes, it was funny when
Their
the
guitar
guy
players are great.
He's singing some song about, I don't know, pulling the guts out of somebody, and then when the song ends, he says, "Well, okie dokie, how's everybody doing out there?"
It's all scary.
And I said, "What is this? A friggin' like a comedy act?" I don't get the Ghost, but I'll have to see him again. I'm not giving up on him. Well, like they give a rat's ass what a 53-year-old guy has to say anyway.
Well, maybe they're people pleasers, and they do. Maybe they care.
I know when we had the guy in studio, he bored the balls off of us. Anyway.
Boy, the lady that was with him was very rude.
What's going on? Before we leave, we were talking about people who are people pleasers. We were asking Josh about it, about if he thinks he is one. You think you're one. A few listeners texted in, and they said that you certainly got that from your mother.
God dang it.
Oh, no. They said, what did they say here? They said it's hereditary. Your mother is a people pleaser. She can't say no to anything. That's not right.
Oh, that's a guy's mom you're talking about.
You've said before, she gave you life.
She did.
Yeah.
She gave birth to me.
And people...
And then had my dad and grandmother raise me as she moved out. I don't even know where she is.
Oh. This is great. Crazy Fish Guy Jesus has texted in. He sent me a message that says, "You shut your whore mouth about Ghost." Respectfully, he says. Respectfully. He wants me to shut my whore mouth.
That band, what is it, Unnamed Ghouls? Or
Yep.
Those guys are talented, man.
Okay, it's Mongolian. They sing in. We're back to The Who now.
They're Mongolian, so it makes sense if that's what they sing.
They sing in Mongolian, not Hungarian. I'm sorry. Don't blame me. Blame my buddy Jeff. He's the one who ate that psychedelic mushroom before going to see The Who, and he's my age.
I'm looking something up. Have you ever had Hungarian goulash?
I'm sure I have.
When you say Hungarian, that's what I think.
I'm sure I have.
I love goulash. Didn't you say your mom can make a mean goulash?
She's the best in the business.
Is she really?
Yep.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Her other meals, since she got elderly, have struggled.
I had 2 soups yesterday.
2 soups?
And I tried I thought I would be safe because it was Campbell's. They have all these spicy things now, right? And so I tried their ghost pepper chicken noodle. I can't handle it.
That? Oh.
I thought it was going to be Campbell's spicy, but my word, just so you know, I could only do a spoonful. I didn't want to risk the diarrhea. That was hot stuff.
My mother can make a batch of goulash that'll knock your socks smooth off. And finally, before we go, we were talking about, again, people pleasers. And I was mentioning this gal that Cubby and I used to know. She would adapt her personality depending on the crowd she was hanging out with. And like at beer parties, it was amazing to watch her transformation. Like I said, she'd hang out with some, rednecks and say, Boy, I loved a mud bog. You know what I mean? Even though she's never been. And then she'd move on to a crowd full of, you know what they were?
What were they?
They were trapeze artists.
Oh.
And she'd say, I'll jump off a trapeze into a pool full of sharks. I used to do it all the time. I love trapeze artists. They're the best artists in the world. She would adapt their personality depending on the crowd. A listener called or texted in to say, that has nothing to do with people pleasing. That's called code switching.
Code switching?
Never heard that term before.
No.
Code switching.
Yeah, when you see that, especially when you're younger, right? Like middle school, high school, when somebody, especially like a guy, they get a significant other, right? And they are a different person.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Oh, my gosh. I saw that all the time with my girlfriends.
Yep.
I'll never do this. All of a sudden, they're doing that.
And they'd look at you from across the room, and they'd give you that look that led me to believe that they were saying, they were trying to telekinetically pass a message on to you that was saying, don't out me, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't you come over here and say a friggin' word. I got this gal suckered into believing I'm this style of guy. Don't you come over here and tell the truth.
Yeah, and then it's like one of those, you guys, you don't get it. You don't understand
Because
us.
they're in a relationship.
They're in a relationship.
Oh, sure, and you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you might see some clear signs of something, and you know look who's talking. But you might see some clear signs of something, but you don't understand them.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get them how they operate. But yeah, it's pretty good when someone's like, "I'll never do this. I'll never do that." Especially when it's like the tough guy in your group, and they're doing some stuff that you would expect the least tough guy to do in a relationship. That's pretty good fun.
You know what I'm going to do tomorrow night at that concert? I'm going to code switch on my bros. I'm going to hang out and watch The Who. Maiden starts, I'm going to leave. I'm going to code switch their asses. I got no interest in this old English band, Iron Maiden. I'm here for The Who, dude.
Yeah, The Who.
Stay tuned for that concert announcement in an hour. All right?
10 a.m.
10 a.m.
Sorry if you tuned in thinking, whew, thank God the morning show's done. I could hear that concert announcement. They pushed it back an hour.
Yeah.
Idiot. You tuned in when you didn't have to.
What a loser. Boss's orders.
Yep. Shout out to Becca and Teddy from Up the Hill Jesus. Happy 40th to Neck Like a Stack of Dimes, Arms Like Buggy Whips Jesus from Wolfpack Softball Jesus. Happy birthday to Cody from Wisco Dump Truck Jesus and April, who I've been told is the best state trooper in the Metro. Happy birthday to you as well.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93 Erg.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Hey, Ashley here. Get your home ready for winter. Schedule your furnace tune-up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning and save $30. Have a boiler? Save $40 on your boiler tune-up. Visit standardheating.com to book and lock in your savings. Stay cozy, stay ready.